It's time for Avon Varsity Football on Audio Sports Online. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by McDonald's, Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, and Red Cobra Wrestling. Avon Varsity Football is an AudioSportsOnline.com production. Now let's head out to the field for tonight's game. The 2014 high school football season kicks off tonight, and the Avon Orioles will do it in grand style as we come to you tonight from Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Indianapolis Colts. It is the Horseshoe Classic, and the 15th-ranked Avon Orioles will take on the 10th-ranked Lawrence Central Bears. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oriole Football on ASO. My name's Brian Scott. I am once again joined by the Indiana Football Hall of Famer and former Avon head coach Dave Shelbourne as we bring you Avon Oriole football tonight. The Orioles are coming off of a season last year, a 6-4 season. At times, they had some really good runs, and when you take a look at their record, it could easily be said they could have had an easy 8-2 record. A loss in the season opener against Hamilton Southeastern, and then against that blowout loss to Ben Davis in the sectional. But for the most part, it was a very, very positive season for the Orioles. One of the big reasons is their junior quarterback this year, Brandon Peters. He was coming off of a fantastic season last year as he threw for over 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, 9 picks. He ran for 4 touchdowns, but a very, very impressive almost 60% completion record. He is back for his junior year, might be one of the more unheralded quarterbacks in Central Indiana at the moment. He has had quite a few offers, and he's even taken a trip down to Bloomington to talk to head coach Kevin Wilson of the Indiana Hoosiers. Go for a visit down there. He will be one to keep your eye on, as most of the other coaches in Central Indiana will be doing, and he'll have his first test under the lights here at Lucas Oil Stadium. I bring in the former Avon head football coach Dave Shelbourne. And, Coach, it doesn't really get any better than this. We've talked about at the end of last year one of the effects of streamlining the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. We have now lost the 3 schools that were up in Tippecanoe County. That would be Lafayette, Jefferson, Harrison, and McCutcheon. But it allowed teams like Avon, Carmel, Brownsburg, Fishers to schedule some pretty tough opponents. It doesn't really get much tougher than some of these schools from the Metropolitan Conference.
Well, it is going to be fun. Before we kind of got locked in because all you were playing were Hoosier Crossroads people. And, it was really tough to kind of judge yourself against the other schools and other conferences until you got to tournament time, other than what you did in the summer and camps and that type of thing. So, they gave up the 3 Lafayette schools, picked up Lawrence Central, Whiteland, and Ben Davis. Those are 3 really solid programs with great coaching staffs. And, and it also juggled the order of the teams you played. So, it will be an interesting year. Obviously, starting off the season at Lucas Oil is always exciting. It was exciting for me when I was coaching. I know it's a great thrill for the kids and, for their parents and, and actually for the students at school to get an opportunity to come in here. And, LC has a great rep. They won a state a couple of years ago. They have a new coach. Coach Richmond does a great job, and he's getting adjusted to, I think, being in the MEC and, coming from Western Boone, obviously the talent level, not only of his kids, but the opponents is a little bit different. But he's got Steve Tootsie on the staff. Steve's a former head football coach at Warren Central also, and, won a state championship there, so he's been around and he knows what he's doing. And I think this program is going to be strong, and, I think we're looking for a good ball game here tonight.
You mentioned that this is the first time that Avon hasn't played somebody from the Hoosier Crossroads Conference start this season. That has traditionally been Hamilton Southeastern. The Orioles will get a good look at the Royals here in a couple of weeks. The last time Avon played a non-HCC opponent opening week, well, you have to go back to 2004, and the gentleman to my left here, head coach Dave Shelbourne, was at the helm of the Orioles when they defeated Plainfield in the season opener. Do you remember way back into then?
You do and you don't. Like we talked prior to the game, they start to run together a little bit. When you coach over 40 years like I did, and I mentioned to you I was kind of laughing. I remember all the games I played in, and I remember a lot of the games that I coached. But Football is just exciting. It's good to get started. I'm not coaching anymore, but the adrenaline's still flowing here a little bit. I know a lot of the kids at Avon. I have a lot of respect, for the other coaches and the coaches, especially in the Indianapolis area. And I mentioned to you earlier that after I gave up being a head football coach, I couldn't totally walk away from it. So I did a couple of years of seventh grade football, and a lot of the kids that I coach in seventh grade are now on the roster here as sophomores and juniors, and some of the kids actually even as sophomores are stepping up here to be starters. So it gives me an opportunity to come in here and kind of cheer for those kids that I had an opportunity to coach a couple of years ago.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's game. First of all, let's talk about the Avon Orioles. Again, coming off of last year's season, they have some big keys returning, especially offensively. Of course, we mentioned Brandon Peters, the junior quarterback. He showed quite a bit to everybody last year as just a sophomore. He is back. Derrick Tennant, the running back, will be the running back for the Avon Orioles. Last year, only played in 6 games, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns on the season. Tight end Matt Moore is back. He was very impressive last year for the Orioles from that position, 22 catches for 209 yards and 5 touchdowns. Of course, the offensive line is anchored by center Brady Nyland. And, Coach, we always talk about offense, what do we do for Brandon Peters? How do you open up your running lanes? How do you protect? It usually starts with a big man at center.
Well, the offensive line, our offensive line is going to be outstanding. Dave Ballou, without a doubt, is the best strength coach in the state of Indiana. And Coach Bless, now that he has come to Avon, he is in the weight room as well. So you've got 2 very, very knowledgeable people down there working with the kids. So our kids are strong. They have a work ethic. They're going to be tough. Early in the season, defense is always ahead of the offense, and we've got some good kids up front. But, you got a unit up there. Takes a little time to gel. I think they have some ability, and I think they're going to be very good, once they get going. And, we'll see how it goes tonight. But Avon has the ability to do a lot of things on offense, and I think that's a real key for them. And the biggest thing that I've heard from the kids and the coaches with Brandon Peters at quarterback, you could always see the ability. I mean, when I had him in 7th grade football, you didn't do anything with his throwing motion because, some kids just kind of have that naturally. But the biggest thing that I've noticed, because I see Brandon in school and that I've heard from the kids as well, is last year, even though you have ability when you're going out there to start for your first time and you're a sophomore, you are a little nervous. And stat-wise, he had a really nice season. But the biggest change that I've seen and from what I've heard from everyone is that Brandon now has established himself as the leader in the huddle and a leader in the locker room and a leader in the of the team. So I think you're not going to see him change his throwing motion or that type of thing, but I think you will see him take charge in the huddle. And I think when the quarterback can stand in front of a huddle and exhibit that kind of confidence, that it's going to come across to the rest of the kids.
One of the keys to look at is at wide receiver. Last year, Brandon Peters threw to Crest Kimbrough, a player that could get downfield, stretch the defense. Last year, we watched Andrew Griffin start on the defensive side of the ball. He moved to the offense as the season progressed. This year, Andrew moves to the offensive side of the ball. He may still see some reps at defensive back, but he is going to be one of the primary keys at wide receiver.
Well, obviously it's good stock. He's got 3 older siblings that are outstanding athletes, and mom and dad are pretty good athletes in their own right. But, I had Kendall play for me, and, Kendall's one of the better football players that I've ever coached. And, and his primary interest is in basketball, and he's been a 2 or 3 or 4 year starter at Wright State. Katie was an outstanding athlete, in high school and went on to a terrific career at Purdue in volleyball. And, we've got the little one over there at Indiana State now. And in fact, I think Clark, Dad told me that they opened actually with Wright State last night, which was kind of interesting. So, and Andrew just, kind of falls in line with the siblings. He's, I think 5th or 6th in the class academically. He's got good speed. He catches everything. And he's just got one of those kind of low-key mentalities. I mean, he competes, with his actions on the field, but, he's not a real high-low kid personality. He just gives you everything he's got on every play.
Defensively, the Orioles will have 5 starters return defensively, led on the defensive line by Joe Belden. Joe, with 45 tackles last year, 12 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. He was always a presence off of that end.
Well, and Joe is one of those really emotional players. I mean, he's one of those kids. I think when he makes a big play, he's gonna try to get the crowd involved a little bit, and you'll see him with his fist up in the air, and he gets excited, and he doesn't make too many mistakes, but if you do, you might see him whack himself in the helmet a little bit. But he gets into it. He plays with a lot of emotion. It's contagious for the other kids, and he'll make one of those big sacks or one of those chase somebody down from behind because he runs awfully well for a big kid, and I think that's contagious for the other kids that play on defense. I do want to get back, if I can, just real quickly, offensively. Derrick Tennant is just, I like Derrick because Derrick has just got that little toughness about him. I mean, he's a nice kid. He does what he's supposed to do. He's a good teammate. But, Derrick is a running back. I mean, if he needs to step up there and block somebody, he'll do it. If he needs to run with power, he can do it. He's got that, what I like to say, that extra jet. I think good running backs have 2 speeds, and Derrick has it, and he can catch a football. So I think the offensive line knows, with Brandon, a quarterback, if they give him time, he's going to find the open receiver, and Derrick is going to find a hole if they give him, a little bit of a hole to run through.
We're about ready for kickoff here in just a few moments. We're going to take a quick timeout, pay a couple of bills. We'll be back for the kickoff between the Avon Orioles and the Lawrence Central Bears. You're listening to the home of the Orioles, ASO. Stop in any Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's and try one of their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon and Brownsburg athletics and is proud to host the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped Wednesday nights on location and aired Friday nights before football on 1610 AM XRB and XRBradio.com. McDonald's has 2 locations in Brownsburg and Avon. In Brownsburg, they are located at the corner of Main and Odell next to Marsh and just off Green Street next to I-74. In Avon, you can find them at the corner of 267 and 36 next to Kroger or on Rockville Road next to Meyer. Stop in either Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's for their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger today. Along with Coach Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium for tonight's Horseshoe Classic, as the 15th-ranked Avon Orioles will take on the 10th-ranked Lawrence Central Bears. Bears coming off of a very disappointing season last year in Jed Richmond's first year at the helm of Lawrence Central. They started off the preseason number 1 in the state of Indiana in class, the new Class 6A, I should say, and it started off well as Lawrence Central started the season 3-0 and seemed to be well on their way. Then the wheels kind of fell off. Some injuries. It was a very talented team. In fact, if you take a look at the Lawrence Central team from last year, they had 10 players move on to play Division I football. But it was not meant to be. After winning the first 3, they lost the rest of their games to finish the season 3-7. And they will have some big holes to fill coming into tonight's game. But one of their big stalwarts will be at linebacker, Darren Kirkland. He is highly recruited. Matter of fact, he is committed to play for the University of Michigan. He was a first-team All-MIC, 110 tackles, 8 sacks last season. He will be one of the players that Brandon Peters and that offense will have to keep an eye on. The other one, Colton Stovall on defensive line for the Bears. He was a beast last season as well. The question is, who's going to be quarterback? Right now, it looks like Brian Haas will get the start tonight. He only made 1 start last year, was 11 of 14 for 174 yards, but very, very limited action for Haas last year as the Bears really look to try to rebuild and see if they can have a bounce-back season this year. As Coach Shelbourne mentioned, Jed Richmond came from Western Boone, was very successful there, moved up to coach the Bears, and was really looking to see if he could lead Lawrence Central to back-to-back state titles. Lawrence Central won it as Class 5A 2 years ago, was the preseason number 1 last year. They are, again, looking for the bounce back. The big key will be who will be running the ball. They will start this game with Jared Dokes, a 5'10", 185-pound junior at running back. But they have a lot of questions to answer, both offensive and defensively. And if you really look at this Lawrence Central defense, you will find a lot of juniors and sophomores on that defense. There's a few seniors, but it's a lot of players getting their first playing time at the varsity level. And, Coach, when you're playing for your first game and it's under these conditions at Lucas Oil Stadium, there might be a few butterflies in the stomach.
Oh, I'm sure there will be, but once you get going, even playing in a place like Lucas Oil, you'll concentrate on what's going on in the field. You notice those kinds of things a little bit more in pregame, and once you get going, you just start playing football. The other thing I think that happens is because of the rules, and they did tighten them up a little bit this summer, but you're allowed to do so much with your team and your players in the summer now that, the development issues that we used to have way back when, in the first game because, you just didn't have enough practice time. Now you can take and develop your kids and work with them and work on some of the technical skills. So, the first games of the season that you see now are far better fundamental football games than what you might have seen 20 and 30 years ago.
Lawrence Central Bears, as I mentioned, are ranked 10th in Class 6A in the preseason poll. The head coach is Jed Richmond. He was 3-7 last year. He is 28-16 in his fifth year overall. The head coach of the 15th ranked Avon Orioles, Mark Bless, 32-15 in his fifth year at Avon. A very, very respectable 181-82 in his 25th year overall. The last time these two teams played was back in 2010. It was in the regional. The Bears won that game by the score of 46-39. If you are looking at the video saying, are we that high up? The answer is yes. We are that high up. We will try our best to give you as good a view as any, but bear in mind we have a long way to look as well. The Orioles will be kicking off. Sam Perino, a 6'1", 200-pound sophomore, will have the kicking duties as back deep for Lawrence Central. They will have, and as I mentioned, we are a long ways away. Jalen Williams, is back deep. The ball is in the air, and this game is underway. Williams will take it at the 8. He's up to the 20, cuts near side, and he will finally be ridden down at about the 19-yard line, and that is where the Bears will take over 1st and 10 from their own 19. They will run a bit of a spread offense as the quarterback will be the 5'9", 175-pound senior Brian Haas. Across the offensive line is Ivan Martinez, Devon Collins, Garrett Carr, Jordan Macklin, Ethan Bruce. The tight end is Glenn Calvin. The wideouts are Brian Rutland and Gennaro Penn. The slot receiver is Jalen Williams, who just ran that ball back. The running back is Jared Dokes, and Haas is the quarterback. They will line up 3 wides to the outside as Haas will start this series out of the shotgun. He will move Dokes to his left, and now he'll move him right back over to his right. Orioles in that 4-man front. They give us to Dokes. He will go right up the middle and find very little room, if any. He might pick up 1 yard.
Avon plays a very aggressive style of defense. They're a 3-3 team. They blitz a bunch. They like to play their corners up and play a lot of man-to-man. They'll turn some people loose and try to be disruptive on defense.
Right out of the gun, Lawrence Central in a no-huddle look as they hurry up to the line of scrimmage, trying to keep that Oriole defense guessing. 3 wides. Now they'll bring the slot man in motion to the near side. That would be Jalen Williams. Fake the handoff to Dokes. No, he'll keep it. He'll go around the left side. He'll find very little running room before he is brought down. I believe A.J. Elcock was in there on the tackle, and that's just a pickup of a couple yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Quickly for the Orioles, along the defensive front, Joe Belden, Gunnar Larson, and A.J. Elcock. The linebackers, Matt Thompson, Zach Williams, and Rashawn Brent. The corners, Drew Shawanovich and Gabe Laxton. It is Nick Handlin is the rover back. Scott Campbell and Brian Fitzgerald are the safeties on this 3rd down. Let's call it 6 yards to go, and this play will go nowhere as penalty flags fly. And it'll be a false start called against the Bears. So that'll drop them back 5. And put them back to around their own 18-yard line, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 11. We noticed last year, Coach, a lot of the times we saw the 2 deeps while Avon runs that 3-3 stack, we saw a lot of 4 linebacker set. This year, Coach Bless showing more of a true DB look as they take the pass, fire over the middle, passes incomplete, but penalty flags all over the place. Looks like they were trying to hit Brian Rutland. And in there, maybe with a bit of a hand, was Nick Handlin, the defensive back.
You know, again, they play a very aggressive style. It'll be interesting. You know, you change some little things based upon your personnel and obviously the people you're playing, but Coach Bombay's style is to get after it. They'll line up in that 3-3 stack and send some people. And, you know, when you got down linemen like they do, they might be able to get away with a little less blitzing this year.
Haas in the gun, flanked left and right. Now he'll send Brian Rutland out, and they'll throw a bubble screen outside. Initially, it eludes one tackle, and he'll pick up some nice yardage. Looked like it was blown up behind the line of scrimmage, but Rutland able to elude a tackle. Actually, that was Jared Dokes. As he took the little screen pass, it looked like in the backfield coming up to make the play was Scott Campbell. But it's a pickup of 8 up to the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Haas with the inside handoff and up the middle and getting a few yards on the play. Enough for the 1st down is Montrell Wilson, a 5'8", 175-pound senior, and he'll have enough for a Bears 1st down up to about the 46-yard line.
You know, again, Avon slanting their lineman that time. LC just kind of guessed right. The nose guard slanted to the left. They ran a play just to the other side. He had a nice little crease to pick up the 1st down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bears as they'll run a pistol set this time with Haas and Dokes. Here is the handoff. This looks like it's Dokes as he will go around the right side and pick up maybe about 3 yards before he is slammed down at midfield. It's a pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, that's a little power play, a little one-back power play, kind of their bread and butter. I watched the scrimmage last week, and they ran that a number of times. I think that's their go-to offensive running play.
It was Montrell Wilson with the carry as they will look over to the sideline to head coach Jed Richmond. 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Opening drive of this 2014 season for Lawrence Central. And back to pass as Haas fires over the right side. Pass is complete. Over on the far sideline, catch is made. And coming down with the catch was Devin Glass, a 5'8", 150-pound senior who was a big part of their wideout core last year.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We're kind of on the same wavelength. Again, Avon right now playing man-to-man on the outside. It was just a matter of time before they were going to test that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see LC go deep here when they get an opportunity.
8:31 left to go in this 1st quarter. No score. Opening drive of the game. As Haas with, I believe, Wilson behind. He'll take the pitch, come out to the near side, tries to find the corner, and he'll get a few yards, but not before he is finally brought down on a nice open field tackle.
Actually lined up unbalanced that time. They were strong that side. I think they're just trying to see what kind of adjustments Avon's going to make. They've been in multiple formations. They're lined up in that unbalanced look again, so we'll see if they continue with something they like here.
Dokes was the ball carrier. It'll make it 2nd down and about 4. Ball is spotted on the Oriole 35-yard line. As ball will this time have Dokes to his right. 2 wideouts to the top of the formation. Back to pass his ball. He fires downfield, has the pass, is complete. As over to the far side, catch is made over there by, I believe, Damon Cobb.
Well, they've made some nice adjustments. I mean, early in the game, even when they've gone with 3 receivers out to a side, Avon's really only covered it with 2, just kind of daring them to throw out there. And that time they brought that third receiver out of the backfield, and he was wide open. So either Avon's going to have to make some adjustments, or I think LC is going to continue to go with what's working for them on this drive.
Ball's at the Oriole 28-yard line. It was actually Brian Rutland with the catch. As Brian Haas takes the snap, looks, fires over the right side. This one's incomplete. Led his receiver too far to the outside over there, and that was Brian Rutland once again. The 5'7", 155-pound junior was the intended receiver.
Well, it's a little bit like a basketball game right now, because what's happening is LC's trying to isolate some receivers one-on-one with the DB, so it's going to be that battle of whether the receiver is better than the DB. That time the receiver actually was open and the ball was overthrown a little bit. But I think the formation changes that LC's making, they're trying to create some mismatches. And
they might have confused themselves with all the shifting, and they will call their first time out of the ball game. 7:42 left to go, opening quarter, no score. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the home of the Orioles on the home. It's Audio Sports Online. Stop. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. After the timeout, it'll be 2nd down and 10, as a little bit of delay while they have some fan interaction down at the other end of the field. It's been a long drive so far. This drive started back at the Bear 19-yard line, and 9 plays later, they have drawn down to the Oriole 28-yard line with 7:42 left to go in this opening quarter.
Well, it's like the opening rounds, of a boxing match. Right now, LC's coming out multiple formations. Avon's trying to figure out what they're going to see. So right now they're both trying to figure out the philosophy that the team has come into the game with.
Bears will come out in a 4-wide look as Haas back in the gun. Takes the snap, pressure up the middle, fires, has a man out in the right flat. And with the catch is Jared Dokes. Good pressure up the middle by the Orioles, but a good release by Haas, and they will take it down to just inside about the 20-yard line of Avon. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, they blitzed. They took a chance and went after it a little bit, and when you do that, sometimes you don't end up with the coverage people that you want. They had a linebacker trying to run with a running back. He was able to at least, chase him down and make the tackle after the catch, but that's a good matchup, for LC, and that's why he was open.
Liam McGuire will line up over the right side. They'll try to run that way. It looked like Dokes with the ball carrier, and he'll be very close to a Bear first down. And they say no first down. It'll be 4th down and just a few inches. And now the clock will stop as the chain gang started to move. Well, as we just said, as we went into the break, it's first game for a whole lot of us up here for the season.
Including the officials in the chain gang.
Including the officials in the chain gang.
That's close enough. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't measure. At least, we're up here in, 23rd story or whatever we might be in.
And I think that was what Coach Jed Richmond was asking, and now they will indeed bring the chains out. Initially, it was 4th down and short, and after they stretch the change, it will still be 4th down and short. But for Coach Richmond, maybe this gives him just a few extra seconds to decide what he wants to do here.
Well, it also lets him know exactly what he needs. And, again, from here, we're a long way away. It looks like it's less than a foot. So, rather than turn around and hand it to that I-back who's back there about 6 or 7 yards, we might see, quarterback's in shotgun. So I guess I'm a little bit out of it. I thought they might run a little quarterback sneak here or a little quick hitter.
Instead, they will fill the house in the backfield. Haas will give it to the tailback. He will come around, and that's going to be close, but I believe he's going to have the first. Second effort by Jared Dokes might have got him the first down.
You know, the play works, so it's tough to criticize, and I guess I don't want to sound like I am, but, you know, I mentioned I thought he'd go with a little bit of a quick hitter and actually went with kind of a counter play and took it to the outside, and, you know, a good run by the running back because he actually looked like he was going to be tackled short of the first down.
Gabe Laxton's had the hit, but it is a first down, and here is Dokes right up the middle once again. He's going to be met in the hole for little gain on the play.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if I still understand things here a little bit. But if LC doesn't go to the outside to that three receiver side soon, I'm really going to be surprised.
There is an Avon Oriole slightly shaken up, and they have called time as the training staff comes out to take a look. But he will get up very quickly. That is Bryant Fitzgerald, a 6 foot, 185-pound sophomore safety, as he is not down long and quickly comes to the side. I take that back. That is not Fitzgerald. It is Zach Williams, the linebacker.
Yeah, Zach is the heart and soul of that defense. He's been there a long time. He's a great kid. He makes a lot of adjustments. He's smart, so they'll want to get him back in there as soon as possible.
It'll be second down at about 9. The ball's on the 14. It's a little quick hitter out to the 10. Cuts back to up to the 5, and finally ridden out of bounds at about the 1 yard line. Just what Coach Shelbourne was saying. Look for the ISO. Jalen Williams out of the slot takes it up to about down to the 1 yard line before he is ridden out of bounds by Gabe Laxton's. Ball just inside the 1.
Yeah, they had him outnumbered out there. They've got 3 receivers and only 2 defenders.
This is a 14-play drive, and the give is to Dokes up the middle, but he is met and stuffed right at the point of attack.
Well, they blitzed the house that time. They made the right call at the right time because I don't think anybody got blocked in the middle.
Trevor Bernhardt and Bryant Fitzgerald, I believe, in there to meet Dokes, as they will once again use this full house look with Haas in the shotgun. Now they will split out wide. Haas, little corner fade route, throws it up. It's caught, but out of bounds. Over there was Gennaro Penn, a 6'3", 175-pound senior, trying to use his size. Threw it up in the corner and he was up against Drew Shayatovich, a 5'11", 185-pound senior, but led him a little too far outside, and it's incomplete.
Well, the call is good. You're going to run a fade down there. That wide receiver's got to line up a little tighter so he's got room to make that catch and adjust to the ball. 3rd and goal from the 2. Dokes, nice cut back, and he will run into the end zone for the touchdown. Well, that's an awfully nice drive to start your season, especially with a brand-new quarterback. They were patient. They ran. They threw the ball a little bit. They did all the little things that they needed to do. And, this is an outstanding Avon defense. I'm sure Coach Bomby's going to go over there and make a few adjustments, and it'll be interesting to see how they come and bounce back on the second series out there with the defense. Nash Griffin, a 3-year starter, is on to kick, but it's a bad snap, and they will have to eat it back at the 13-yard line. So the point after is no good, but the Bears are on the scoreboard. It's a time for the Orioles to take the ball. We'll have the kickoff in just a moment. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at RedCobraWrestlingAcademy.com.
Bears take the opening possession of this 2014 football season. They drive it 81 yards in 6 minutes and 1 second, and they do it in 18 plays before Jared Dokes plunges in from 2 yards out. The point after is no good, so the Bears hold a 6-0 advantage as Nash Griffin sets to kick it away to Derrick Tennant and Brian Fitzgerald back deep for the Orioles. As I mentioned, Nash Griffin, a 6'2", 210-pound junior. He is a 3-year starter for the Bears, handling all of their kicking duties, and he puts a right foot into it and kicks it deep. And it'll be Tennant at the 3, to the 10, up the middle to the 15, looks for some room, dives, and he will take it down to about the 22-yard line, and that is where the Avon Orioles will begin their first drive of this new season as Brandon Peters. Actually, that was Andrew Griffin with the kick return. It is Brandon Peters that will bring the offense out. The 6'5", 195-pound junior leads the Orioles, and he will go immediately to the gun. 2 wideouts to the far side of the field as Peters flanked by Batustik and Derrick Tennant. Zach Batustik, Derrick Tennant. Here's a give to Tennant around the left side. Looks for some room, cuts it upfield. Nice cut by Derrick, and he'll take it up to about the 25-yard line. Yeah,
good block on the outside. Avon, just needs to be patient here. Establish their own offensive rhythm. They have lots of skills. They have the ability to run power football, speed football, and throw the football. So they've got lots of weapons here. They just need to establish a little rhythm.
It'll make it second down at about 7 from the 25-yard line as Batustik will line up again. Tennant flanking Peters, and Zach Batustik had come all the way outside. He was sent back out to the field, and now the Orioles are going to be forced to call a timeout. So while we have a moment, let's give you the starting offensive unit for the Avon Orioles. Across the front line, Nick Shoemaker, Zach Ryan. The aforementioned Brady Nyland is the center. Ross Carter and Ryan Dixon. The tight end will be Matt Moore. The flanker is Andrew Griffin. Cole Wrightley will start at split end. The fullback, Zach Batustik, a 5'9", 205-pound junior. The tailback is a 5'10", 190-pound senior, Derrick Tennant. And the quarterback, 6'5", 195-pound junior, Brandon Peters. For the Lawrence Central Bears, they will run more like a 4-2-5, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and then a host of defensive backs across the front line. Carton Stovall, a 5'9", 225-pound senior. Kevin McDuffie, Cavante Miller, a freshman, is at defensive tackle, and Devon Matthews is the defensive end. The linebackers, Joby Walker and Darren Kirkland. The corners are Andrew Randolph and Marcus Fletcher, and the safeties, Michael Tootsie, Jaron Orr, and Jarrett Montgomery. Second down and 7 for the Orioles. They trail 6-0. Play action pass, and they get the ball away as we saw this from Brandon Peters last year. Good elusiveness, is able to get the ball out to Zach Batustik, but nowhere to go. Batustik will lose about 3 on the play.
Well, that's that chess game that time. Coach Tootsie, who was calling the defense over there, decided to blitz. He brought an extra defender off the corner at a time when Avon was running a play action type of play. Well, since they're blitzing, they're just kind of ignoring the running play. They've just got, their ears bent back, and they're coming after it. So it was a good call defensively that time for the play called.
Wrightley and Griffin to the top of the formation. Peters takes the snap, looks, steps up. Here comes the blitz, and they'll finally get to him. As coming in to make the tackle was big 96 for Lawrence Central, and that was Cavante Murray. And that's going to force the punt. It's a loss of about 5 on the play, and that will make it 4th down and 15, and Sam Perino is going to be on to punt.
Well, this is a time, it's early in the season, first game, but this is where you find out a little bit about, your team leadership. The defense, the first time, gave up a score. Offense went out 3 plays and has to punt. It's early. There's lots of talent on that team, and, Avon just has to regroup here a little bit and come back and do the things that they've done all summer, because I know they've had a great summer. So it's just a matter of, relaxing and doing the things that they can do.
Perino with a wobbly kick. It's fielded by Jarrett Montgomery. And the Bears will be with good field position just inside the 50-yard line. They'll place the ball at the Oriole 49-yard line. Lawrence Central with a 6-0 lead. 3 minutes, 32 seconds left to go in this opening quarter as Brian Haas will bring the offense back onto the field. A long, sustained drive that led to a Jarrett Dokes 2-yard touchdown run for the Bears' opening possession of the season, and they're right back on the field. This time, instead of going wide, they tighten it up a little bit. And now they will shift
it back
and go unbalanced right. Play action pass. They look down the middle, and a man wide open, but Haas could not get it to big Gennaro Penn as they put him on a fly route. In coverage was Drew Shayatovich, and Penn had the step, and he was wide open, but Haas couldn't deliver the football.
Yeah, he actually had about 5 steps. He was wide open. All he needed to do was get that ball in there, and they had a score.
So the Orioles fortunate there. It'll bring up second down and 10. 2 wideouts to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom as Haas looks over the Oriole defense. He'll bring a man in motion. Haas back to pass. Looks, fires, looks to the right side. Pass is complete for a short gain. Pass is complete to Glenn Calvin, the tight end. But it's a gain of only a couple down to the Oriole 46-yard line to bring up about third down and 8. Calvin, a tight end on the 2 deeps, but he's lined up as a wide out over to the far side of the field. Haas back to pass, gets pressure, steps up in the pocket, and he will go down. Getting a hand in there, I believe, for Avon was Joe Belden, the defensive end, as we talked about earlier. He managed to get a hand on Haas, bring him down, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Well, that's a great series. Coach Bombi, they saw what LC wanted to do on the first drive, obviously made some adjustments, came out here 3 and out, turned the momentum around a little bit. Avon will start playing defensively with a little bit more confidence, and hopefully the offense will come out and establish themselves on this drive.
Andrew Griffin and Matt Thompson back deep to field this punt. They'll stand back at around their own 13-yard line as Griffin set to punt this ball away, but not before we have a 5-yard penalty.
Some kind of a movement.
It was interesting. I saw a couple of days ago one of the new rule changes that were implemented. We'll tell you about it after this kick. It's a high kick, and it'll bounce, and it'll take a Lawrence Central bounce, and they will down it at about the 9-yard line, and that is where the Orioles will take over. We'll tell you about it in a moment. Minute 52 left to go, opening quarter. The Bears lead the Orioles 6-0. That's what I get for a new one. Or we'll just tell you about it right now. This is what is so great about the first game of the season, folks. Oh, all the fun that we can have. 1st and 10 for the Orioles at their own 9-yard line as Brandon Peters is back out. He will give the ball to Derrick Tennant. Tennant with a little bit of a delay, and he won't find a whole lot of room to run as he might get it just beyond the original line of scrimmage. A minute 39 left to go in this first quarter. Good bounce back by the Oriole defense after that long sustained drive by Lawrence Central to open the game with a touchdown. The Orioles forced the Bears into a 3 and out, and now it's time for the Oriole offense to see what they can do.
Yeah, a little tough with the field position. LC starts at the 50, and here's Avon starting inside their 10, and then, you don't want it to limit your offense, but it does a little bit.
Here's a give to Tennant, finds some room around the left side. He'll take it up to about the 14-yard line, but it'll bring up about a 3rd down and 5. As I was mentioning before our adventures there just a moment ago, one of the rule changes by the National Federation of High Schools is they were allowing this year officials to call numbers during penalties. Indiana elected not to adopt that rule. That was just put out just a couple of days before the season started that Indiana high school officials will not give numbers when they are mic'd up as they are tonight. Right now, the Orioles with a 3rd down and 5, and Coach Bless is going to have to burn another timeout with 30 seconds left to go in this first quarter. That'll give the Orioles only 1 timeout remaining. We'll be back in a moment. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Stop in any Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's and try one of their two $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon and Brownsburg athletics and is proud to host the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped Wednesday nights on location and aired Friday nights before football on 1610 AM XRB and XRBradio.com. McDonald's has 2 locations in Brownsburg and Avon. In Brownsburg, they are located at the corner of Main and Odell next to Marsh and just off Green Street next to I-74. In Avon, you can find them at the corner of 267 and 36 next to Kroger or on Rockville Road next to Meyer. Stop in either Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's for their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger today.
3rd down and 5 for the Orioles after the timeout. Peters will take the snap out of the gun. Looks, wait, and he's going to be brought down as that Bear rush finally gets to him and brings him down back around the original line of scrimmage at the 9-yard line. Good pressure off the end, good coverage downfield by Lawrence Central, and in the end, Brandon Peters had nowhere to go with the football, and he ends up taking a 5-yard sack back to the 9-yard line, and that will once again bring out Sam Perino on to punt.
No turnover, though, so, at least we're showing enough composure not to force the ball, especially down here. It's still early in the game. Have to show some patience and some confidence, and that was a good decision just not to put the ball up for grabs.
That will end the first quarter of play. After 1, the Bears lead the Orioles 6-0. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this on the home of the Orioles, ASO.
Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
We'll begin the second quarter of action with the Orioles getting ready to punt this ball away. It's their second offensive series that ended in a 3-and-out. And now they are going to be forced to punt as Sam Perino will be punting from his own end zone. He will get the snap and get this ball away. A high wobbly kick that'll be taken at the 48-yard line. Coming near side, gets some room to the 30. Cut it back inside and taken down at the 25-yard line. Run back by Davion Bell. And once again, the Bears with excellent field position.
Yeah, starting on your 24-yard line is a good place to start if you're the offensive coordinator. And, and right now, LC is feeling some momentum. It's first game for both teams. Avon is scrambling a little bit right now, but I'm sure they'll get it adjusted. But LC's playing with a little strut in their walk right now, and it's really important for Avon to keep them out of the end zone. I'm sure LC's thinking, let's put one in.
Once again, the Bears load the backfield, but now they will split Davion Bell out, and the give is right up the middle, and Bell is going to take it all the way to the house. Wow, or excuse me, that was Montrell Wilson, but the wow still is in effect because it didn't take any time at all for Montrell Wilson to run that one right up the gut and run it in for the touchdown.
Well, they caught it clean. There wasn't even a hand on him. Good call, good blocking up front, and nobody there.
So Wilson runs it in for the touchdown, and once again on for the point after Nash Griffin. His previous point after was a bad snap, couldn't be handled, so He is out to try it once again. This is a better snap, good hold. Kick is up, but he's going to put it through. And with 11:40 left to go in this first half, Lawrence Central extends their lead to 13-0. Back with a kick in just a moment on the home of the Orioles, ASO.
McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
One play is all it took, and Montrell Wilson ran it in 24 yards. The point after by Nash Griffin is good, and the Bears extend their lead 13-0. It's been a field position game so far, and the Orioles have been on the wrong side of it as the Bears, with once again excellent field position, take it in one play and lead 13-0 as Griffin will put a left foot into it. It'll be kicked deep, and this will be taken, they'll say, outside the goal line, coming up to the 15, to the 20, 25, and just beyond the 30-yard line is Andrew Griffin on a fine return. Thought for a moment there they might have called him for a touchback, but he was evidently outside the goal line, and he takes advantage of it and runs it up to about just beyond the 30-yard line.
Yeah, made a nice cut. It looked like he was going to be tackled about the 15-yard line, and he made a nice cut upfield and made a couple of their tacklers miss.
So Brandon Peters and the offense look to see if they can make something happen with their best field position of the game. So far, 2 drives, 2 3-and-outs. And Peters will take the snap. He'll look. He'll fire back the other way, wide open at the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, 45, and finally ridden out of bounds is the big tight end, Matt Moore. Had everybody going one way, and they came back the other, but might be a penalty. And it is. The Orioles finally get their best offensive play of the game as they get everybody going one way and Peters throws back the other, but it's all for naught as a holding penalty will bring this one back.
First game jitters right now, a little bit more for Avon, but that was a good play. They just again have to settle in. There's lots of time here. They've got plenty of offensive skills, to put up some points here. This could end up being a very high-scoring game because I think the Avon offense is going to get it together here soon and put some points on the board.
That'll move the Orioles back all the way to the 19-yard line as Peters is flanked by Batustik and Tennant. Takes a snap, drops, fires, looking to the near sideline, and the pass is incomplete. Andrew Griffin running down the near sideline. He was covered up by Marcus Fletcher, a 5'9", 180-pound senior corner. And that time, not quite enough arm there for Brandon Peters. He had Griffin on the sideline, but good coverage there also by Marcus Fletcher.
Yeah, he might have actually been throwing that ball away because it was very well covered. He ran with him. Andrew could really run, but their DB ran with him stride for stride.
So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 20 for Avon. As this time they'll just simply go to an I backfield. Batustik and Tennant give us to Tennant, bounces out to the outside to the 20, tries to cut it back, and he'll get up to about the 25-yard line and no further. And the Orioles, who had a good play called back on a penalty, end up losing 5 yards when all is said and done, and it will bring up 3rd down and about 15 yards to go.
That's a play call. I'm sure some people in the stands are sitting there wondering why they're running the football, but as a head coach, I like it because they need a little confidence right now. They came out and jammed that ball off tackle, picked up a run. They need to get their confidence and momentum back here a little bit, so, and then I think the offense will start clicking.
They'll have a penalty called against Lawrence Central. And I did not see the call and could not hear it. but it will give the Orioles a free 5 yards.
Yeah, I think illegal participation, if I saw the official signal correctly. They might have had an extra guy on the field or didn't get somebody off.
Well, that'll put it back to the original line of scrimmage of the 31-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Peters in the gun. Tennant to his left. Drops back to pass. Looks, fires, lets it out to Tennant. Had the screen, could not hold on to the football.
Oh, they had that so well set up. They had three defenders out on the left side. They ran off the corner on this side. It was a very, very excellent call by Coach Moore, who calls the plays down there for Avon. They had it set up and just evidently took his eyes off the ball.
He had a wall in front of him. It would have been an easy 1st down. But Derrick, upset with himself, just could not bring the football in, and that's going to send back Samperino once again to punt. Lawrence Central will set up at their own 37-yard line. This one a little off the side, but it will take an Avon bounce. It'll be picked up at the 28-yard line by Davion Bell. And penalty flags fly. Tackle is made, and it looks like
it's a clip.
It's going to be an illegal block from behind.
Yep.
When did we lose the term clip?
Well, I think technically a clip is a block below the waist, and blocking in the back can be above the waist. So
either way, this will benefit the Orioles, as the Bears are going to have their worst field position of the game. As after the penalty, they will start from their own 20-yard line with 10 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in this first half, but they lead the Orioles by the score of 13-0 as Brian Haas is back out, and they'll use again that full backfield. Haas takes the snap, looks, they split off, fires over to the left side, pass is complete. Over there on the sideline, making the catch is Glenn Calvin, and he will have enough for a 1st down as he will take it up to the 33-yard line.
Nice play call. Saw that Avon was in man-to-man, brought the back out of the backfield, put him on a linebacker, and he was open for the 1st down.
Drew Shaotovich there to push him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 13. It's 1st and 10 for Lawrence Central. They'll bring a man in motion to the near side. Haas, handoff. This is Williams. He spins, and he will spin it upfield to around the 36-yard line as Montrell Wilson, with the carry. Pickup of about 4 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Bears on the move once again out of this no-huddle offense. This time it will be Jared Dokes to the right of Haas out of the gun. And this time we are going to have a timeout called by head coach Jed Richmond of the Lawrence Central Bears. 9:33 left to go in this first half of the first game of the 2014 season. The Bears lead the Orioles by the score of 13-0. Back in a moment. This is Oriole football on ASO.
McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
After the timeout, both teams with 1 timeout remaining. 9:33 left to go. First half of play. 3 wideouts to the top of the formation for the Bears. Here's Haas, rolls out to his left, looks, fires, has a man on the sideline, but led him just a little too far out of bounds. Over there off to the sideline, Brian Rutland, the wide receiver. He couldn't quite get a foot down, put a toe on the line, and it's incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Orioles could use another good defensive stop right here.
Or a turnover. Need a momentum changer.
It'll be 3rd down and 7. Ball spotted at the Bear 36-yard line. Haas has Dokes to his right. Drops back to pass, gets some pressure, rolls to his right. Still looking downfield. Fires downfield, and pass is incomplete. He was looking down that side, down the seam, I should say, to Glenn Calvin. Pressure came, and finally the Orioles were able to get to Brian Haas, but not before he got rid of the football. But the timing was thrown off, and he simply couldn't deliver the football.
Yeah, he was open, but they pressured him very well. They did exactly what they wanted. They moved him off the spot he wanted to throw. They forced him on the run. They made him throw on the run, and even though he had a receiver that was open, he missed him.
Here's a kick that's going to bounce, and it's going to be picked up, and it's going to be stopped. Lawrence Central thought they might have touched an Oriole, but as soon as the Bears gunner touched the ball, it was blown dead at the spot. And the Orioles are going to take over 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
Well, that's a smart play by the defender, because sometimes, sometimes they miss it. We teach our kids just to pick the ball up and, make it look like he might have touched it. You can't always tell whether he touched it, so a very wise move by the defensive back. The official was right on the play and obviously made the correct call.
So 1st and 10 for Avon, ball at their own 34-yard line, still looking to get any type of offense going. They had one nice play, but called back on a penalty. And on this 1st and 10, Peters is back to pass, fires down the middle, and it's tipped. Penalty flag in the air.
It's an illegal formation. They got away with it if they didn't call it because they had too many men in the backfield.
Play action pass. It was fired down over the middle, and the defender got a hand on it. Darren Kirkland, the all-state, all-MIC linebacker who's headed to play for Michigan next season, got a hand in there to break it up, but the officials are going to talk this one over. And they're going to take a rather long talk about it. And when they're done, they're going to call a 5-yard face mask against the Bears. So while Kirkland was able to defend the pass, and, well, they signaled a 5-yard, but they're marking it off 15. So the Orioles get their biggest offensive play of the game on a 15-yard face mask penalty. That'll take it up to the Avon 49-yard line. 1st down and 10. Clock shows 9:04 left to go first half. Bears lead 13-0. High backfield as the give is to Tennant, and that is just blown up. Ball's loose. And I believe Avon fell back onto it, and it was Brandon Peters that was able to jump on the football as he just simply ran smack dab into Derrick Tennant.
Yeah, so somebody went the wrong way.
And it's a loss of about a yard on the play as Peters was able to fall on the football. It'll bring up 2nd down and 11. Clock moves at 8:30 left to go first half. This time Peters will work out of the gun. He'll be flanked by Batustik and Tennant. 2 wideouts to the near side of the formation. They'll look over a 4-down front. Peters fires, has Andrew Griffin, passes low, and they'll say Griffin wasn't able to pull it up off of the carpet, and they'll bring up 3rd and long. Just a quick little slant from the far wide out Andrew Griffin, but the pass was low and Griffin couldn't pull it up off the carpet. 3rd down and 11 for Avon.
Yeah, nice play call, a little high-low play. They ran a receiver deep downfield and brought another one underneath and then just read the defender. The defender ran deep, so Griffin was wide open underneath. They just had a miscue on the throw and catch.
So basically the same formation as the play before, but this time Lawrence Central drops back. Peters looks, fires, has Griffin at the 37, inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, they needed that. This is a great combination. Once they get a little confidence here, get a couple of completions, little in route, went downfield and turned it in. Brandon hit him on time, and the offensive line gave him plenty of time to make the throw. So hopefully that will get things going. It's important here for Avon to try to get a touchdown.
Rather unusual to see the Bears give that much cushion on that 3rd down and 11. Griffin was able to get beyond the sticks and pick up a few yards more. 1st and 10 for the Orioles at the Bear 32-yard line. High backfield behind Peters. A delay. He'll give it to Tennant. Finds room on the right side to the 30, to the 25, inside the 20 and out of bounds. Inside the 20, down to near the 17-yard line.
Yeah, nice run by Derrick. He has the ability to, like I said, he's a strong kid, so he can run that power play and run people over. And you just saw out in the open field, he made a couple people miss. If he'd had a little more room on the sideline, he might have been able to take it all the way.
So the Orioles finally find their offense here with 7:40 left to go in this first half. As they started this drive at their own 34, they're down inside the red zone at the Bear 17-yard line. Once again, the I backfield. Peters behind under center. They give us to Tennant. Finds some room to the 10. Bounces the outside to the 5 and into the end zone for the touchdown.
Little counter trap play. Good trap by the guard. Derrick read the blockers the way he was supposed to. Maneuvered a little bit in the open field and made sure he got into the end zone.
Well, Coach Shelbourne said it earlier that even though Avon was a little sluggish out of the gates offensively, they could still turn this into a shootout. And they come back with a nice drive with some hard runs by Derrick Tennant, a clutch pass from Peters to Griffin, and the Orioles are on the scoreboard as Perino on for the point after. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 7:33 left to go in this first half of play, and the Orioles are on the board. They trail Lawrence Central 13-7 on the home of the Orioles, ASO.
Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Redd. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at RedCobraWrestlingAcademy.com.
Orioles are in the end zone as Derrick Tennant runs it in from 17 yards out. Caps off an 8-play, 66-yard scoring drive that took up just about 2.5 minutes, and the Orioles trail the Bears 13-7 after watching the Bears run off a very long, extended drive to begin the game. They gave up a touchdown. A short field gave the Bears their second touchdown. For the most part, Avon has done a fairly good job defensively in their other 2 drives. Now they'll look to see if they can get the Bears to another 3 and out and maybe get this game back close as they head into the locker room for the second half. Sam Perino back to kick this one away, and he'll put a right foot into it. It's a short kick that'll be taken at the 9, up to the 15, to the 20, and taken down at about the 25-yard line is Jalen Williams for Lawrence Central. And Brian Haas will bring the offense back out onto the field, this time leading by only 6. They will spot the ball at the 25-yard line of the Bears. 7:27 left to go in this second quarter of action. And the Bears will head to the line of scrimmage with 2 wideouts to the top of the formation. It will be Jared Dokes in the pistol behind Brian Haas. 4-down lineman for Avon. Dokes will the ball will be handed off to Dokes. Finds a little bit of room around the left side. Picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
You know, they're still trying to run the football. Avon's got a lot of bodies in between the tackles. I think if they're really going to make something happen, it's probably going to have to be throwing the football or taking it to the outside.
2nd down and 8 for Lawrence Central. 4 wideouts in the formation, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom as the Orioles try to line up. Haas will give it to Dokes. He'll go right up the middle, and he will get some nice yardage and plow up to around the 35-yard line, very close to what is needed for a Bear first down.
Yeah, just power football that time. They just took it at him. Avon was in a 4-man front that time, and they blocked it pretty well up front.
They'll say he was short of the first down. This is 3rd and short, as Lawrence Central quickly up to the line of scrimmage, and it will be 3rd and about a half a yard to go. Dokes to the left of Haas. The give is to Dokes. He'll find enough room to get that first down. Not much more, but didn't need much more than that. Got about a yard and a half up to the 36-yard line, and that's enough for a Bear first down.
Yeah, just run a little inside zone. He's got a nice knack when he gets up there. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Derrick. You know, he's got that little jet. He's got a little speed, but when he needs to lower the shoulder and get in there and run with a little power, he's able to do that also.
So 1st and 10 for the Bears at their own 36-yard line. Clock moves as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the second quarter. Bring a man in motion, but the give is to Dokes once again, and he'll go right up the middle. He's going to be met, but he's still going to plow through. He was originally met in the hole, I believe, met there by Matt Thompson, but...
Yeah, Matt's an outstanding linebacker, started last year as a sophomore. He can run. He's a good hitter in the open field, and, again, he's only a junior, but he's an experienced veteran since he started the entire year last year.
Zach Williams also in there with a hand. Dokes will take a breather as Montrell Wilson now in at running back, but Haas is back to pass. Hits some pressure, moves to the right, now throws downfield wide open to the 30, 25, 20, and finally ridden out of bounds by Gabe Laxton is Glenn Calvin. And that is a big, big play as Lawrence Central will take it all the way down to the Oriole 12-yard line.
Well, Avon did what they wanted to do. They pressured, they got after him, they made him change his spot. But if you're going to play man-to-man behind it makes it a little bit tougher for those defenders because they have to stay with their man a little longer. And on the scramble, somebody lost their man, and he was wide open in the secondary.
So it's 1st and 10 from the Oriole 12-yard line as Haas will look over to the Bears sideline to get the play. Full house backfield once again as they put everybody in the backfield. But the give is right up the middle, but very little room there on this play as the Orioles stacked up Montrell Wilson for little to no gain.
Well, they've had some success, but they're determined just to run that little inside zone play inside and try to make it work in a little power play where they bring the backside guard around. So it looks like they've come in here with the attitude that they can run the football even into all the blitzing that Avon does inside.
They will keep the same formation, 2 wideouts, everybody else in the backfield. Here's Haas. He'll fire it up and nicely defended over there as he was looking for Brian Rutland, but on the play was Nick Hanlon there to break it up.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he went to that side because Nick, as the free safety, chose to help out, probably read the quarterback's eyes and did a great job of it that time. One-on-one coverage totally on the other side and the wide side of the field. But Nick Hanlon came over and, again, read the play and assisted there, knocked the ball down and prevented the touchdown.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 12 as the Bears will line up with 3 wideouts to the top of the formation. And now we're going to have a timeout because Coach Jed Richmond, he didn't like the way that was lined up at all. He was jumping up and down on the sideline, and they finally have to run down to about the 10-yard line to call their 3rd and final timeout with 4:29 left to go in this first half. The Bears lead the Orioles 13-7. Back in a moment. This is Oriole football on ASO. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
Bears with a
Bears with a 3rd down and 12. 3 wideouts to the top of the formation, 1 to the near side. It is Dokes to the right, but Haas takes it, fires out, and it's batted down. Is coming in and making the play was big old A.J. Elcock, the 5'10", 195-pound junior defensive end, to bat that ball away and set up 4th down.
A.J.'s playing well. He's got a lot of energy, kind of like Joe Belden on the other side. A.J. was a player for me in the middle school, just a tough kid that goes hard all the time, and he gets after you, and that time he made a big play.
So Nash Griffin will set up for a 28-yard field goal. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 4:22 left to go in this first half, and the Bears now lead the Orioles by the score of 16-7. Back with a kickoff in a moment. You're watching Oriole football on ASO.
Stop in any Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's and try one of their two $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon and Brownsburg athletics and is proud to host the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped Wednesday nights on location and aired Friday nights before football on 1610 AM XRB and XRBradio.com. McDonald's has 2 locations in Brownsburg and Avon. In Brownsburg, they are located at the corner of Main and Odell next to Marsh and just off Green Street next to I-74. In Avon, you can find them at the corner of 267 and 36 next to Kroger or on Rockville Road next to Meyer. Stop in either Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's for their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger today.
Nash Griffin's 28-yard field goal caps off a 9-play, 75-yard drive that consumes 3 minutes and 5 seconds. And Lawrence Central now has a 16-7 lead over Avon with 4:22 left to go in the first half. Along with the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelburne, I'm Brian Scott. Griffin will put a foot into this, and he will kick it deep. It'll be taken at about the 5-yard line. To the 10, 15, 20. Andrew Griffin will finally be dragged down before he can reach the 20-yard line, as he will be tackled over on that far side by Jarrell Curry. And the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 with 4:15 left to go in the first half.
Very important for Coach Bless's squad here to put something on the board before half. The field goal just made it a 2-possession game. A touchdown would be great. A field goal would be okay. At least that would make it a 1-possession game. So, right now important. They've got enough time here. They want to get down and put some kind of points on the board before half.
Brandon Peters will work this time under center. Gives the handoff coming up to the near side. Derrick Tennant finds some room, cuts it up, and he'll pick up a good chunk of yards, about 5 yards beyond the 20 to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Still plenty of time left to go in this first half. We just hit the 4-minute mark. Avon with 1 timeout remaining. Lawrence Central has used their full complement of 3 already. So Tennant will stay in the backfield. This time he and Zach Batusik will flank Brandon Peters. 2 wide outs to the top of the formation, 1 to the near side. On this 2nd and 5. Brandon takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Now he'll swing it out. Here's Derrick Tennant. Has very little room to run, and he's going to be brought down. Good idea out of the backfield, and Derrick, with some very determined running, will at least pick up a yard out of this.
Yeah, what wasn't much there. Whatever they got was all Derrick Tennant, because LC had it covered extremely well.
So that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4. They'll give credit Derrick for about a yard up to the 22-yard line as we approach the 3-minute mark left to go in this first half of play. Cole Wrightley and Andrew Griffin will split out wide. I backfield, Batusik and Tennant behind Brandon Peters under center. And the give is to Tennant, and he won't find a whole lot of room as Lawrence Central came up the middle and
tried to run the same little trap play they had run earlier for the touchdown, and that time LC had a linebacker sitting right in the hole and, stopped it. Not what Avon wanted there. They obviously didn't want to go 3 and out. It would have been nice to put some points up on the board, and, right now they need to punt this ball down there and just make sure that LC doesn't put another one on the board.
Sophomore kicker Sam Perino back to kick. His punts have been short. He's gotten some good rolls, however. This one's a little bit better. It's a wobbler that will be fielded around the 36-yard line by Davion Bell. Bell jukes one tackler and will take it up to about the 47-yard line. And with a minute 59 left to go in the first half, Lawrence Central has the ball in pretty good field position, but they are without timeouts. They lead Avon by the score of 16-7.
Yeah, since the first drive, Avon's defense has played pretty well. They haven't always started out defensively with great field position, but they've come back. They're down 3. Belden, Elcock, and Gunnar Larson have played very well, and the linebackers have been a little more active.
Here's Haas, and not sure what happened on the exchange, or if Haas was trying to give it to Dokes and just
Actually, what happened, he was trying to run a little fake and then try to run a little bubble screen, and Avon had a defender standing right in the throwing lane, so it was one of those what do I do moments, and I think he wanted to throw, realized he shouldn't, and I don't know if the ball fell out of his hands or not.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. This time Dokes will get it, and he'll go nowhere. He's going to be met at the point of attack by a host of Oriole defenders and dropped right there. Little to no gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, playing very well. Gunnar Larson, the nose guard, is a sophomore. Again, played for me down there in 7th grade when I did my my time down there. He was a freshman, went down state last year in wrestling. Had a great career in wrestling. Had a great season in wrestling last year, and right now playing very well for his first varsity game.
So it's 3rd and 10 for Lawrence Central. They'll bring the full house back field with wideouts left and right. As Brian Haas looks over the situation, takes the pass, takes the snap, drops back, has a man, puts it out there, and it's caught. And it's going to be a touchdown, as once again they managed to get a wide receiver isolated. And that wide receiver happened to be in the form of, I believe, Gennario Penn. Penn got isolated on a defensive back, just ran down the seam, and it's a 56-yard touchdown pass. And a nice catch by Penn, as he, with great concentration, brought that one in. And it's made it a 22-7 lead, pending the point after. And this kick is up. It is through. Rather ugly looking, but it gets through nonetheless. And with a minute 2 left to go in the first half, Lawrence Central extends their lead to 23-7.
Nice throw, great protection. I mean, you have to hand it to LC. A little tough, when you give up a 50-yarder with a minute to go and a half. I'm sure that's something that Coach Bless and Coach Bombi didn't want to happen. And there's going to be a lot of coaching going on at halftime. Anybody that's coached for a while has gone through these moments, and right now it's partly execution, but I think the biggest thing that the Avon coaches are going to have to go in at halftime is just go in there and get the confidence back. They've got good kids. They've had a great summer. All I've heard from the kids in school for the last three weeks is how good the chemistry is, how well both sides of the football have played, in the summer and in the preseason. I think they know what they're capable of doing. For whatever reasons, they haven't played their best football the first half, but they've got a whole half of football left. All they need to do is just relax and play with a little confidence, and that's where, an experienced head coach like Coach Bless will go in, and I'm sure that will be their approach at halftime.
This time, Nash Griffin's kickoff will not be returned, as Andrew Griffin will take it in the end zone. That'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. Orioles have one timeout remaining and a minute 2 left on the clock, but it'll be curious to see what Coach Bless does here. Don't want to give Lawrence Central any more momentum than they already have. Now up 23-7. And the Orioles will bring out 4 wideouts as they get everybody lined up. Now they'll go 3 wideouts, as Brandon Peters will be back in the gun, and he will give the ball off to Derrick Tennant. However, Derrick will get maybe a yard or 2, and that's about all. So it takes us under a minute here in the first, left to go in the first half. Again, the Orioles do have one timeout, but I think Coach Shelbourne would say it's going to be basically let's get into the locker room and talk about what we did right, what we didn't do so right here in the first half, and come back out in the second half. We saw the one really good drive by Avon that culminated in the touchdown. And now Coach Bless will use that timeout as the play clock was winding down. 25 seconds remain to go in this first half, and Lawrence Central leads Avon 23-7. At the half, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. We touched about it in the pregame, some of the changes, some of the big games that are coming up, and some of the schools such as Avon that decided to take advantage of this non-conference schedule and schedule some really, really tough games. There were some big games played earlier today, as this is by far the late game of the evening, as most of the other action has already concluded or is in the process of concluding as we approach 20 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock, and we're about ready to hit halftime. Peters will have Tennant to his left, 3 wideouts, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. And Brandon will just hand the ball off to Tennant. He'll get a nice little run, take it up beyond the 35 to the 36-yard line. It'll be a first down. They'll stop the clock, as that will move the chains. With 17 seconds remaining in this first half. So Derrick has shown some good moves, good running. We have yet to see really anybody else rush the ball for Avon. And indeed, that's going to be the last play of this first half. We've played one half of football at the beginning of the very first game of the 2014 football season. Avon finds himself trailing at the half 23-7. We'll be back after a few messages with our halftime show. This is Brian Scott, Dave Shelbourne. You're watching ASO football, or Avon football on ASO.
Stop in any Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's and try one of their two $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon and Brownsburg athletics and is proud to host the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped Wednesday nights on location and aired Friday nights before football on 1610 AM XRB and XRBradio.com. McDonald's has 2 locations in Brownsburg and Avon. In Brownsburg, they are located at the corner of Main and Odell next to Marsh and just off Green Street next to I-74. In Avon, you can find them at the corner of 267 and 36 next to Kroger or on Rockville Road next to Meyer. Stop in either Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's for their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger today. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900. Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Redd. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind Sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com.
Halftime at the Horseshoe Classic at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Avon Orioles, well, they find themselves on the short end of the stick right now. They trail Lawrence Central by the score of 23-7. Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelburne, I'm Brian Scott. It's halftime. So one of the things we're going to see this year that's different, of course, we touched on it at the beginning of the game in the pregame show. It's the streamlined Hoosier Crossroads Conference with the now 7 teams instead of the 10 teams. The 3 Tippecanoe County schools of Lafayette, Jefferson, Harrison, and McCutcheon no longer in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. And one of the things that a lot of the coaches, especially the football coaches, talked about coming into this season was the ability now to schedule some tougher games. Avon was no exception. They went off, scheduled Lawrence Central, of course, big game next week with Ben Davis coming into Avon. And really another team that some people probably don't think quite as being up there with Lawrence Central and Ben Davis. Whiteland is no slouch.
Whiteland's got a great football program. Darren Fisher, the coach down there, has done a very nice job. They run a little bit of an unusual offense. So, you know, if you see it every year, it's probably fairly easy to defend or easier to defend. But, you know, when you only see it once a year, it's a little tough. They got people running all over the field. So, and Darren does a great job with the squad. So, yes, it will be interesting. We had talked when I was in the conference of not playing every opponent, maybe splitting into divisions, you know, maybe playing 7 games in the conference so we could play some other people outside the conference. And the schools in the Hoosier Crossroads, I think, got just a little bit too big for some of the Lafayette schools. The travel involved made it very tough, like we talked earlier, not just for football, but, you know, for a lot of the other sports to have to send your kids up to Lafayette midweek, or for them to have to come down here involved an awful lot of travel. So I think it was a good move. Where the conference will go in the future, I think, you know, adding an 8th team kind of makes sense. Adding 2 more, I'm not sure does. Who that other team will be, I'm not sure. But, you know, it does give you an opportunity, especially in football. You know, we're finding out a little bit about ourselves, at least the first half here tonight. Obviously, Ben Davis will be a challenge, and they're a sectional team. And, you know, going down there to Whiteland, you know, is going to give you an experience, especially because if I remember correctly, I think Avon is on the road. So, it does give some people, you know, you see Southeastern and Carmel play tonight, and that's a natural rivalry. So it does give the conference schools an opportunity to go out and explore a little bit.
One of the things about the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, now that there are 6 classes in football, with a 7-team HCC, 5 of those teams are 6A. Zionsville could be borderline, and we saw Westfield really the beneficiary last season of now being in 5A to themselves. They made it all the way to the state title game before falling to Cathedral. As Coach Jay Gilbert, he had a fantastic year last year, and he should have a very good team and have a very good season this year. I believe they won their game earlier. We'll get to some of the scores. But now you can have a lot of these 6A HCC teams start playing more 6A, and as we said, maybe give you a little bit better preparation come tournament time.
Well, I think some of your weaknesses will show up a little bit quicker when you're playing against teams that have quality athletes. You know, when they're putting 11 quality athletes on the field at the same time, it was a little difficult at times when you would go up and not to speak lowly of some of the Lafayette schools, but you could go up there and not be at your best and still win the game fairly easily. And obviously an advantage was you get a chance to go up there and maybe get some of your other kids in the game a little bit sooner so they get some varsity competition. But the last couple of years especially, I mean, it almost got like a JV game, and I'm sure it was discouraging for the Lafayette schools to come down here and, you know, get pounded on all the time. And, I'm not sure what the benefit was really for your squad. So I think in the long run it's probably a good move for them, and I think it's a good move for the teams that are still left in the conference.
And, of course, one of the big things that allows teams like Avon, Brownsburg, Hamilton Southeastern play Carmel tonight. Saw the final score. Southeastern led that game early. They lost to Carmel 14-7. But now you saw Brownsburg played Pike tonight. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they pretty much had it handed them to them. They lost 59-10. But that's a sectional rivalry or a possible sectional matchup. Of course, Avon will be facing Ben Davis next week. That's something that you just never had that chance to play another team that was in your sectional, maybe get a chance to get a look at them. I mean, the only time that you would see Avon facing a sectional opponent is if they were going to play Brownsburg again.
No, absolutely. I think there's lots of benefits for everyone involved. And, you know, as a coach, I mean, you sit down and examine, the things you do well and the things you need to work on each and every week. But, you know, a game like tonight, this is not a common opponent. So you prepare a little bit differently. You, I guess, predict as best you can by watching film and, and talking to other people. But because this is somebody that you don't play on a regular basis, you kind of have to figure things out as you go along. And, right now at halftime, I know they're in there. There's some people on that LC team that turned out to be a little bit better and a little bit quicker than they thought. They might have discovered some areas that they think they can exploit or attack the second half, but you're making some adjustments on the fly because it's not a common opponent for you. But obviously, it's a quality program and a quality coaching staff because right now, LC has dominated the first half, and they're over. They're going to have to guard against. You're not as good as you think you are, and Avon's in there. Trying to get the confidence back in their kids because we're certainly capable of playing better. And I'm sure that the big message that you're trying to get across to the kids now is just to relax, come out and play with the kind of confidence that you're capable of playing with, and come out the second half and play the kind of football that you can.
We talked about some of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference schools picking up the competition. We told you about Brownsburg pretty much being laid out by Pike. Hamilton Southeastern losing to Carmel 14-7. Noblesville defeated Lawrence North tonight, and they won that game by the score of 36-33. Westfield defeated Harrison, and the final score that I was looking for, of course, for Harrison, that's been a pretty unfortunately for Harrison, they're now going 3 years running without a victory.
Right.
And the other game that I was taking a look at, McCutcheon did defeat Zionsville tonight by the score of 21-13. Other games that we're going to see next week, of course, Ben Davis, they won pretty handily tonight, whooping up on the Class 5A champ Indianapolis Cathedral by the score of 44-19. Hamilton Heights will be at Noblesville next week. Lawrence North, who fell to Noblesville tonight, they will be at Brownsburg next week. One of these nice matchups, if you're a fan of Zionsville gets to play Lebanon, and that's pretty much next door to one another.
Neighborhood,
in almost the same way with Hamilton Heights and Noblesville playing next week. North Central will be at Hamilton Southeastern. Pike will be at Fishers. That should be a good game. And Southport is at Westfield. Westfield going to be tested. Coach Gilbert's going to be tested pretty well this early this season. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we do, Coach and I will be back. We'll talk about what happened in the first half, what we can expect in the second. You are watching ASO football, or Avon football on ASO.
Stop in any Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's and try one of their two $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon and Brownsburg athletics and is proud to host the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped Wednesday nights on location and aired Friday nights before football on 1610 AM XRB and XRBradio.com. McDonald's has two locations in Brownsburg and Avon. In Brownsburg, they are located at the corner of Main and Odell next to Marsh and just off Green Street next to I-74. In Avon, you can find them at the corner of 267 and 36 next to Kroger or on Rockville Road next to Meyer. Stop in either Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's for their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger today. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
Along with Dave Shelburne, I'm Brian Scott. We're at Lucas Oil Stadium tonight, home of the Horseshoe Classic, the opener of the 2014 IHSAA football season. At the half, Lawrence Central leads Avon by the score of 23-7. Lawrence Central, well, you couldn't have asked for a better start to the football season if you were head coach Jed Richmond. They took the opening kickoff and went on an 81-yard, 18-play drive. It took 6 minutes and 1 second off the clock, and it was culminated by a 2-yard Garrett Dokes touchdown run. And Lawrence Central, they botched the point after. Bad snap, couldn't get the ball down. They led 6-0. Avon, well, they went 3 and out on their opening possession. Followed by that, they managed to hold Lawrence Central to a 3 and out as well. But Avon still couldn't get anything going offensively, I should say. They were held to a 3 and out. Bad field position led to a good return on a punt, and Montrell Wilson on one play after the punt ran it in from 24 yards out. This time the point after was good, and Lawrence Central led 13-0. That's the way it would go until the second quarter, when finally Avon got a little bit of offense going. Derrick Tennant ran it in from 17 yards out for the first Avon score of the season. It was an 8-play, 66-yard drive that took a little bit over 2.5 minutes off the clock, but the Orioles were on the scoreboard at 13-7. It would be Lawrence Central rebounding a bit. They managed to get a 28-yard Nash Griffin field goal to take a 16-7 lead, and after holding Avon to a 3 and out, Genario Penn was on the receiving end of a 56-yard touchdown pass from Brian Haas, and that is where we stand here at the half by the score of 23-7. Coach Shelburne has basically been saying it for the entire first half. We watch Lawrence Central run, get themselves in a man-to-man situation, and then open it up with the pass. That's been something that they've seemingly have worked that bit of a formula in the first half. How do you combat that in the second?
Well, if we're going to blitz, we got to get there, or we've got to sit back and just try to contain them a little bit better and not give up the big play. Defensively, really, for the first half, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, they ran to the football pretty well. They did get caught a couple of times, but, when you play the kind of aggressive style that, that Avon's playing with the blitzing and, some man-to-man coverage and, just playing the tight coverage in the secondary, occasionally that's going to happen. So I think defensively they just need to kind of settle in, maybe back off a little bit. Offensively, it's been a lot of 3 and out. I mean, they haven't been out there very long. They're capable of playing well. They've got some skilled kids. I think it's really just a matter of kind of establishing an identity. The first half, they tried a lot of things. It was almost as if they were trying to find out, okay, should we run the ball? Should we pass the ball? What is it that we need to do? I think they were kind of picking and choosing a little bit, and I'm not sure they really settled into a rhythm. And if they can come out here the second half and just kind of establish themselves a little bit, you're down 23-7, so at least for now your play action game is gone, and that's one of the things that they really do like to do. And they're just going to have to be patient and pick and choose here a little bit, run the football, and if they get an opportunity to throw one up the field, Brandon certainly has the arm to get that done, and they've got receivers that can get deep. But I think it's a matter of rhythm. Maybe to make a comparison, it's almost like a golfer. Sometimes you stand over the ball and you can hardly wait to get there because you feel comfortable that you can hit it on the green, and other times, you just sit there and all you can see is the water and the sand trap. And, right now that's kind of the way Avon played the first half, and hopefully the second half they'll get that little strut back in their walk and play the way they're capable of playing.
Avon will get the ball to begin the second half, and as Coach mentioned, a little bit of a slow start. Toward the second quarter, Derrick Tennant was able to get some nice runs off. If they can get him going a little bit, at least open up a little bit of time. The one thing we saw Lawrence Central do, they did seem to be able to get some decent pressure on Brandon Peters.
They did, and again, they hit a couple of home runs. They had a long pass for 50 yards. They had the one-play drive where the running back, went 25 yards in one play. And, those kind of plays make your offense think they're a lot better sometimes than they are. Those blockers think they're great because we just – get a 50-yard touchdown, so I must have done my job great whether I did or not. And at least so far, even Avon hasn't had one of those plays. And, maybe a big play like that will be what they need to get that confidence back and get the offense rolling like they need to.
Nash Griffin set to kick this one away. Andrew Griffin and Derrick Tennant, I believe, are the two deep men for Avon. Orioles trail 23-7, about ready to begin the third quarter of play. Avon in the black, Lawrence Central in the white, and the ball is kicked, and it will be taken in the end zone, and it will be a touchback, and Avon will start this drive from their own 20-yard line. It is something that has been pretty much a theme for Avon, especially in the first half, poor field position.
It has, but, it is what it is. You have to overcome it, and we'll see how we get off here in the second half.
So Brandon Peters will bring the offense out onto the field as they will send Cole Riley and Andrew Griffin to the far side of the field. And it will be Derrick Tennant to the right of Peters working out of the gun, looking over a four-man front. First play of the third quarter is a play-action pass. Here's Peters. He's rolling up to the right, fires downfield, and just didn't get quite look like he was quite comfortable throwing that ball. Left that one well short. I think his intended receiver was the tight end, Matt Moore.
Yeah, little bootleg play with the tight end dragging. Nice football play, one of my favorite plays. He did have him open, and I'm not sure what happened because the ball just didn't get there.
So that'll be 2nd and 10 for Avon. Just underway, third quarter. Lawrence Central, the Bears lead 23-7. This time offset eye to the left. Zach Batustik is the fullback, and we see jumbo package. Here's Tennant, tries to bounce it outside, little stutter step, finally gets a cut, and for all his running, he will gain a few yards, but it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
So far, LC has just done a nice job of, it's the old standard. They're bending, but they're not breaking. They'll give up a play or two. I don't really think they gave up too many first downs, but so far they haven't given up any play that's broken their back. They're keeping everything in front of them. They're just kind of playing a nice little perimeter secondary, trying to keep everything in front of them and inside of them, and just kind of trying to run down the football. And so far, they've done a very good job of it.
Peters back to pass, dumps it off. Here's Tennant, and he is met and stuffed. Coming in to make the play is Darren Kirkland. The Wolverine-bound linebacker came up and made a nice stick on Derrick Tennant to hold him to no gain. It'll bring up 4th down. So a 3-and-out once again for the Orioles. And that will bring out Sam Perino to punt.
And, and the other tough part here, we'll see when it gets done, is the field position will be a situation here also. Their deep guys are standing back around the 50-yard line, so Avon had to go 80. It looks like, LC, excellent punt, which is going to help.
And a penalty flag. Davion Bell is the return man. Actually, that was Alex Steffen. We saw Sam Perino kick the entire first half. His punts were a little short and wobbly, and Alex Steffen, the 5'9", 205-pound senior, comes out. He gets off a tremendous punt.
Plus, I think we have a hold here on LC on the return.
So holding against Lawrence Central is going to back them up even further on a fine punt by Steffen. And when all is said and done, Brian Haas and the Bears are going to find themselves a little further in their own territory than they thought. This is why you don't throw the football overhand. You end up hitting the other player in the face mask.
but still with better field position, starting position than Avon had.
Exactly, as the ball will be spotted finally at the 28-yard line of the Bears. 10:22 left to go in this third quarter, and the Bears with a 23-7 lead in their first drive of the second half. So Brian Haas will work out of that pistol. Garrett Dokes, behind, and they'll give it to Dokes. He will bust through that offensive line, and he will plow up to just beyond the 35-yard line. And a late flag flies. It's a gain of about 7 or 8 yards, and
it's going to be a penalty on LC. And somebody in the defensive funnel for Avon just made a great move, because an Avon defender got hit late. They did throw the flag. He was starting to lose his temper a little bit and go after him, and one of his buddies grabbed him, which is a great move, because it saved him from possible ejection and a possible penalty.
So it's a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. Oh, they're going to call it both ways.
Well, I'm sorry to see that, because, and again, not that I was watching the entire play, but it looked like it was initiated by LC, so maybe the Avon player did retaliate.
So offsetting dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties will leave the play as is. 2nd down and 2 on a gain of 8 by Garrett Dokes, as Haas will check over with the Bears sideline. Again, Lawrence Central, no huddle the entire game, as they will split off and give the ball to Dokes. He'll look for some room to the right, and he's going to be brought down on a fine tackle by the 6', 205-pound junior outside linebacker, Matt Thompson.
Matt's a big-time player. I mean, there was no doubt about a tackle. He wasn't hanging on. He buried him. He just came up, open field tackle. Good running back in the open field normally is going to win that battle, and no contest there. Matt just took him right to the ground.
Might be a loss of 1.5 yards back to the 35-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 3 for the Bears, who will line up 3 wideouts to the near side. Dokes will line up left of Haas. Haas out of the gun, gives to Dokes. Dokes looks for some room and will not find it. Great penetration by the Oriole defense. Will stack him up for a loss of 2. They lined up everybody left, brought Dokes right, but the Oriole defense came through with a big stop, and it'll bring up 4th down.
There are 3 down guys for Avon. Joe Belden, obviously, big-timer, gets a lot of press, as he should, going to IU. A.J. Elcock and Gunnar Larson are very active people in there. They make things happen. They get a lot of penetration. That allows the linebackers to kind of roam free and make some open field tackles.
Nash Griffin to punt this ball, and it's not a very good kick. It'll bounce at about the 44. It'll take a Bears roll, and will roll inside the 30. Still roll, and it'll be touched down at the 27. A fortuitous roll by the Bears on what was not a very good kick, but Avon will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line, trailing 23-7 with 8:15 left to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, we still got plenty of time. I don't think we need to do anything outrageous, but boy, hitting a home run here would be nice. Just kind of a little basic running play that goes for the works, or a nice little short pass that we can take to the house. We need a big play here just to get the momentum back.
That's Patustik and Tennant flanking Peters, working out of the gun. Brandon takes the football, drops back, fires over the middle. Had Andrew Griffin dragging it at the 30, but Andrew, a little hot and high, couldn't hold it, bring it down, and it'll be incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Nice play call. Had little high-low route again. Ran one deep and brought Andrew Griffin back underneath after the linebackers dropped. He was open. Looked like it should have been a big play, but we had the miscue.
Peters will send 3 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side, and he will give it to Derrick Tennant, who finds some room over the right side, picks up about 5 yards on the play, 4 yards beyond the 30 to the 31-yard line, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and 7. So 3rd and 7 for the Orioles as Andrew Griffin will go to the far side of the field, and he will be joined there by Braden Lucy. 3 wideouts, but the give is to Tennant. Finds some room to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, and drugged down there. That was actually Darian Love, a 5'8", 160-pound junior tailback, getting his first carry of the game, and he breaks off a nice one into Bear territory.
Nice. Darian's another one of my old 7th graders, so Darian's a great kid. Actually played a little defensive end for us when I had him in 7th grade also. Tough kid, a lot of energy, gives you everything he's got when he's out there. Nice run, nice blocking by the offensive line on that play as well.
So the Orioles are in Bear territory at the 47-yard line as Peters back to pass. A little stop route by Andrew Griffin, and he will be drugged down at around the 41-yard line before he is brought down. I believe Marcus Fletcher with the tackle for the Bears. Be a pickup of about 6 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and a long 4. Once again, 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. And this time Love will be to the right of Brandon Peters. And he will get the football and not find a whole lot of room, as good pursuit there by Lawrence Central to bring him down. Tackle made by Carlton Stovall, and it's little to no gain on the play. So the ball will remain at the 47-yard line, 5:50 left to go, 3rd quarter, 23-7 is our score, with the Bears leading the Orioles as Andrew Griffin will go to the far side of the field. Cole Rightly is to the near side. In the I backfield, we'll see Derrick Tennant return as a tailback. Zach Batustik is the fullback. Peters under center. Here's a get to Tennant. Looks for some room. Tries to bounce it outside. Nothing doing, as coming in to make the tackle was linebacker Darren Kirkland, and a late flag once again flies.
It's getting a little chippy out there on both sides of the ball, so the players are going to have to keep control of their emotions.
It's a loss of a couple on the play. It would bring up 4th down, but let's check to see what this flag's about. It did fly late.
Probably a dead ball foul, too.
It is a dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct. That'll be called against Avon. And so add insult to injury. You still will have 4th down, but now you'll, instead of being able to pin Lawrence Central back deep, the 15 yards is going to make it a little tougher for, I believe, Alex Steffen to once again punt this ball away.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a frustration penalty. As a coach, you want your kids to be tough and play hard, but they also have to play with their heads a little bit. And we're not in a situation right now where we can afford to give up the 15 yards.
Lawrence Central may be thinking that it could have been a fake. They just put one man back. He'll take it at the 24-yard line, call fair catch, and that's where they'll take the ball. 5:07 left to go, 3rd quarter. Back in a moment. This is Oriole football on ASO.
McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
First play by the Bears is a little swing pass outside, or a little quick hitter, I should say, but Drew Shayatovich right there to stop that one in its tracks. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. Drive starts for the Bears at their own 24-yard line as we are under 5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Bears still lead the Orioles by the score 23-7. Alongside Coach Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Season opener for Avon, and right now they are looking for something, and Haas is able to swing this one out. He had good pressure, tried to get it out side and
Joe Belden again. Good pressure by Joe Belden on the outside.
Trying to get this ball out to Davion Bell, but Joe Belden was there, forced the pass to be rushed. Bell was wide open on the sideline, but that ball floated out of his grasp, and they'll bring up 3rd and 10. So the Orioles could really use a 3-and-out right here.
Well, it's interesting to watch LC. They're up 23-7, and they're not squatting on it at all. They're out here throwing on the first 2 plays.
This time they'll give it to Dokes. He'll look for some room around the right side, and he'll be brought down. And what the Orioles needed was a 3-and-out, and that's what they're going to get, is coming in to make the tackle with Zach Williams. And it'll bring up 4th and long, and once again, the Bears punting unit is out on the field.
Yeah, glad to see Zach back out there. Like I said, he's kind of the heart and soul, the leader of the defense. He went out early, I think, with an injury, so to have him back in there has got to be a boost for the defensive huddle.
So once again, Andrew Griffin back deep. He's joined, I believe, by Matt Thompson. As Nash Griffin will punt this ball away from his own 10-yard line. High snap, gets it down, pressure comes, gets it away. It's a poor punt, and it will kind of take a little bit of a sideways roll, and it will be down at about midfield. So Orioles, with some of their best field position all night long, will start this drive from their own 49-yard line. They trail 23-7, still 3:27 left to go in the 3rd quarter. So Brandon Peters brings the offense onto the field. Nose of the football touching the Oriole 49-yard line. And Rightly and Griffin will be the wideouts to the far side of the field. Derrick Tennant to Peters' left. He'll give Tennant the ball. Tennant up the middle, has some running room to the 40, bounces outside to the 35, to the 30, and he'll finally be run out of bounds on a fine run by Derrick Tennant. They'll spot the ball at the Lawrence Central 16-yard line.
Offensive line did a great job, and Derrick read the blocks of the offensive line extremely well. He running play to the outside, got a cutback lane and took it back, and I thought there for a second he might take it all the way, but just a terrific run by Derrick Tennant.
Peters back to pass. Now pulls it down, looks for some room, eludes one tackle, and he makes something out of nothing. Manages to pick up a yard diving forward down to the 25-yard line. It's a pickup of 1, 2nd and 9.
The thing that people don't see or don't talk about, though, great decision. Didn't force it, didn't try to throw it in the end zone. It just wasn't there. He didn't feel comfortable. He did the smart thing and take it up and got what he could.
Brandon looks, fires, pass complete. That's his big tight end, Matt Moore, inside the 15 and down to the 12-yard line where it will be 1st and 10 Avon.
Good call there by Coach Moore. They've done a good job taking away the outside receivers, the seam routes, and a little crossing routes down the middle to the tight end, and to some of the wideouts on the drag routes have been open.
And penalty flags fly before this play can get ahead of steam. And a false start will be called against the Orioles. So not a place you want a penalty deep in the red zone.
It's not, but they're trying to pick up the tempo here a little bit. They had a couple good plays. They got LC on their heels a little bit, and they wanted to come out here and get after it a little bit while they were trying to figure out what was going on. Unfortunately, they were the ones that made the error.
2 wideouts to the near side. Cole Rightly is the wideout to the far side. Derrick Tennant to the right of Peters. He'll get the handoff, runs it inside, and he'll pick up a few yards close to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard shy, down to about the 13, inside the 14-yard line. And we've got a Bear slow to get up.
Avon's had a nice drive. They've got their momentum back a little bit. You can see the confidence that's developing here. Very important for them to get this ball in the end zone. They need a touchdown here to, again, just to get that confidence back. Right now they're playing with it on this drive, and a touchdown here would certainly help.
There's an injury on the field. We'll take a timeout as well with 2:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Orioles trail 23-7. You're watching Oriole football on ASO.
Avon has a rich wrestling tradition, and now Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of it. Opening last November, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com.
Jalik Bruce was the Bear who limped his way off to the sideline. It'll bring second down on a long 10. And once again, this play is going to be stopped. And it's going to be stopped because Lawrence Central, even after the injury timeout, is going to have to burn a timeout. So a minute 58 left to go in the third quarter. We'll be back after this. You're watching Oriole football on ASO.
Stop in any Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's and try one of their two $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon and Brownsburg athletics and is proud to host the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped Wednesday nights on location and aired Friday nights before football on 1610 AM XRB and XRBradio.com. McDonald's has 2 locations in Brownsburg and Avon. In Brownsburg, they are located at the corner of Main and Odell next to Marsh and just off Green Street next to I-74. In Avon, you can find them at the corner of 267 and 36 next to Kroger or on Rockville Road next to Meyer. Stop in either Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's for their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger today.
Orioles back out on the field for this second down from there and 11. Peters back to pass, looks, has a win, wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Orioles, Andrew Griffin. He had his man beat by a country mile all alone in the corner of the end zone. Peters delivers the football, and the Orioles tack on a touchdown.
Yeah, ran a double cut. Looked like he was set him up, trying to run a slant. The DB bet on it, and he took it right to the corner, wide open. Great route, great throw, nice protection.
The Orioles are going to go for 2 here. Make it a 1-possession game if they can get the 2 points. And it's a rollout by Peters. He's going to keep it to the south, and he will get to the pylon for the 2 points. A big 2-point conversion for Avon.
Nice decision there, too, by Brandon. That was a little bootleg play. They had the fullback trying to sneak himself out of the backfield after the fake. They defended the fullback pretty well, but left the corner wide open. Brandon knew exactly what he needed to get and got himself in. That's a big play. I mean, Avon hasn't been sharp. They sure look good on the last drive, but even though it hasn't been their best game, they're within 1 touchdown and a 2-pointer here of tying this game up. So the momentum's back a little bit. It's up to the defense now to come out here and do their job. Get us another 3 and out. We still got a minute left to go in the third quarter, so there's plenty of time for Avon still to come out on top.
As Coach mentioned, quite a lot of time left in this football game with a minute 52 left to go in the third quarter. Avon, a 51-yard drive that culminates in a 12-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Peters to Andrew Griffin, and then Peters himself runs it in for the 2-point conversion, and it's an 8-point Lawrence Central lead, 23-15 with a minute 52 left to go in this third quarter. It will be Sam Perino that will tee the ball up. It's been Alex Steffen punting, but Perino is going to kick this one deep, and he gets a good foot into it, but it's going to be taken at the 6. And then the ball's fumbled. Ball still loose on the ground. Let's see who has it. And no signal from the officials yet. Avon football. Looks like Davion Bell couldn't quite handle the kick, and he might still be down on the ground at the 15-yard line. Did not see who came away with the football. Might have been Gabe Laxton's. But a big, big play. We talk about turnovers. Actually, the fumble was by Lawrence Central's Jalen Williams. He muffed the kick. And really tough to see who came away with that football at the end. All we know is it was a player clad in black for Avon, and the big play, the big defensive play that Avon's been looking for all night happens on the ensuing kickoff, and the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 from the Bears' 14-yard line, trailing by 8.
That's the momentum changer that, all coaches know and that I talked about earlier. The touchdown, the two-pointer, the fumble recovery, Avon's got that momentum going their way, and a big part of it is because they're starting to play with the confidence that they didn't show in the first half.
Jalen Williams, who muffed that kick, was shaken up, but he walked off to the Bears sideline under his own power. But Avon with 3 wideouts to the top of the formation. Darian Love, now that is Derrick Tennant to the right. And he will get the football, runs to the right side to the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Orioles from 14 yards out. Derrick Tennant. And this game has swung mightily in just the past minute and a half.
Lots of patience. I'm sure Coach Bless and his staff did, all the things mentally that they had to do at halftime, because this is certainly a different Avon team out here the second half. They're playing with that confidence. Both sides of the football. Special teams has gotten involved. Big two-pointer here right now, but, the momentum has changed. Avon's playing Avon football right now.
23-21, the Bears have the lead. It is a big two-point conversion. Peters has the football, looks, rolls, fires left into the end zone. The pass is over the head of the intended receiver, Derrick Tennant, who had leaked out of the backfield. Peters rolled to his right, then threw back across. He has the arm, and matter of fact, put a little bit too much on that football. It was over the head of Derrick Tennant, but the touchdown brings the Orioles to within 2 with 1:42 left to go in the third quarter.
Well, that's the only miscue they've had here in the last 6-7 minutes. I mean, Avon is a totally different football team right now. They're playing well. Offensively, they're running and throwing. Derrick has made some nice runs out here. Brandon and Andrew have been the combination that we anticipated that they should be. The offensive line's clicking up front, and the defense is doing just what they're supposed to do. They're controlling things. They're not giving up a big play. They've been 3 and out here a couple of times. The momentum has definitely changed, but Avon's going to have to continue to play with that same enthusiasm this fourth quarter to come out here and win the game.
For those of you that might have been following a little bit, game 1 was Chittard versus Brebeuf. Brebeuf led that game 14-3 at the half to watch Chittard come back and win that game 17-14 in what was an outstanding football game. This one living up to game 1's hype as Samperino puts a foot into this one. It will be taken at about the 7, up to the 20, to the 25, and finally taken down shy of the 30-yard line as we watch him unpile. It will be Jarrett Montgomery running back the kick for Lawrence Central. But just a few minutes ago in game time, this was a 23-7 game. It is now 23-21. Avon still trails by 2, but they have the momentum, and you can tell by the defense they're excited to get back out onto that field. Haas will bring the offense. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. And the give is to Dokes, and he's not going to find a whole heck of a lot of running room as Avon holds him to a gain of about a yard, maybe 2. Actually, it was not Dokes. It was Montrell Wilson was the ball carrier. As he has to go off, he lost his helmet, so he will have to go off for one play. Full house backfield once again. Wide out split left and right. 4 down linemen for Avon. Here's Haas, swings that out, pass high and behind the receiver, and that's going to be Garrett Dokes. And it's going to bring up a quick 3rd down. So 3rd down and 8 for the Bears. 57 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Avon with 14 points here in short succession, now trailed by 2 at 23-21. 3 wideouts to the top of the formation. Haas takes the snap. Drops back. Pressure comes. He's going to get rid of the ball before he can get sacked. But there,
I think it's AJ.
A.J. Elcock, and he was, let's say he was slightly animated.
Well, he made a great spurt right by the offensive tackle. I mean, he just speed rushed around him so quickly. He couldn't be blocked at all, and he laid out the quarterback. I'm surprised he was able to get the ball off at all.
So things couldn't go better for Avon right now. They get Lawrence Central in a 3-and-out, low snap, and getting rid of it is Nash Griffin. Taking the ball is going to be Matt Thompson on the kick return, on the punt return. He will take it up to the 40-yard line. And just like that, Avon has the football. They have it at their own 40-yard line. 45 seconds still remain in this 3rd quarter, and they're down now only 2. So the Orioles actually spot the ball at their own 41-yard line, as Peters has Derrick Tennant to his right. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. A 4-down front for the Bears. Peters gives it to Tennant. Tennant finds some room up to the 50, to the 40, down to the 30. He is going to the 20, still on his feet, to the 5, and finally pushed out of bounds. A fantastic run by Derrick Tennant. He will take it inside the 10, down inside the 5, and the Orioles will have it. But wait, unfortunately, while everybody was heading down, the one guy that kind of knew that something might be up is Brandon Peters, because he's back at their own 40-yard line.
Do you see a flag?
There is a penalty flag on the play, and this one is, I think there's going to be a block. They're still going to get the yardage way down inside Bear territory. But instead of being inside the 5, well, take that back.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, I'm not sure what happened, but it doesn't look like there was a penalty.
So put the ball at the inside the 5. It's the 4-yard line. 1st and goal for Avon. High backfield behind Peters. But 2-stick in Tennant. Here's Tennant. Looks for some room around the right side. Pulls through and into the end zone. No, they're going to put him just outside. Derrick Tennant with a bull rush coming out with the football was Marlon Sam for Lawrence Central, but the official marks the ball down just outside the goal line. A hard run by Derrick Tennant.
Yeah, a lot of that was on his own. He got men at the line of scrimmage, just refused to go down and carried LC defenders almost into the end zone.
Well, it will be not a touchdown as the penalty flag flies. This play really never got off. They snapped the football, and I believe Tennant ran forward, but this play is going to be stopped dead. It's a dead ball, foul, false start, or illegal procedure against Avon. So right now, really, that's about the only negative in the last 5 minutes as the game clock shows zeros across, that Avon can really have marked against them is a penalty there. And
I'm sure when Coach Bless is asking, they had 12 guys on the field. their player didn't get off the field. So I think that's what he's.
So we are going to have an untimed down. 0 show on the on the game clock. But Avon will run a play. Here is Tennant. He's going to gain maybe a yard. He was met on some nice pursuit from the backside by Carlton Stovall, and now that will end the third quarter of play. Avon explodes in the latter part of this third quarter, and they are a few yards away from taking their first lead of the game and of the season. We'll have the fourth quarter coming up in just a few moments. Avon trails Lawrence Central 23-21. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Stop in any Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's and try one of their two $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon and Brownsburg athletics and is proud to host the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped Wednesday nights on location and aired Friday nights before football on 1610 AM XRB and XRBradio.com. McDonald's has 2 locations in Brownsburg and Avon. In Brownsburg, they are located at the corner of Main and Odell next to Marsh and just off Green Street next to I-74. In Avon, you can find them at the corner of 267 and 36 next to Kroger or on Rockville Road next to Meyer. Stop in either Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's for their $2 tasty specials, the jalapeno burger or the triple cheeseburger today.
Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelburne, I'm Brian Scott. Avon with the football, 3rd and goal from their own 5-yard line as they get at least finally a little closer to us. I backfield with Batustik and Tennant behind Peters. Peters with a snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, looking, throws, has his man open, Matt Moore, touchdown. Avon, they take the lead. A situation there where for Lawrence Central, they were in no man's land. If they tried to come up and meet Brandon Peters, Moore was leaked out behind, and if they go back and defend Moore, Peters could run it into the corner.
Actually, I think that was Zach Batustak. That was the fullback. I'm pretty sure came out of the backfield down there.
Alex Steffen is going to be on to try the point after. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and Avon with 11:53 to go in this football game. They take their first lead of the game. They lead Lawrence Central 28-23. Back with a kickoff in a moment. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
It was Zach Batustik from 5 yards out. Alex Steffen's point after makes this a 5-point game. Avon with a 28-23 lead. They scored 3 touchdowns in under 5 minutes of game time. And they lead for the first time of this football game and of the season. As Samperino will kick this one off. High kick. It's going to be taken by Montgomery at the 8. Up to the 15, to the 20. Tries to cut it upfield. He'll get up to about the 23, 20. Yeah, they'll spot him at the 23-yard line. He will get no further. And Lawrence Central, who really, the Orioles had some decent success with him defensively in the first half. It's been all Orioles defensively here in the second half as they have shut out Lawrence Central for basically a little more than a quarter now.
Well, LC came out with that big lead, 23-7, and really just kind of went a little conservative. So it'll be interesting to see if they don't try to throw the ball down the field here a little bit. And open up the offense a little bit more.
Brian Haas will swing it out. Pass is complete. He has over there on the far side, pass is completed to Davion Bell. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 6. Lawrence Central quickly, no huddle. 2 wide outs to the near side and to the far side. Garrett Dokes is the tailback behind Haas out of the pistol. 4 down front for the Orioles. Haas on this 2nd and 6 takes the snap, drops back, now rolls to the near side. Looking for somewhere to throw, fires downfield, and the pass is broken up. Incomplete. The wide receiver, Davion Bell, looking for a flag, not going to get one. Looks like he more tripped over his own feet. And it'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Well, Coach Bombi got exactly what he wanted. They pressured the quarterback. They put him on the run, and the man-to-man coverage in the secondary stayed with their guys all the way. I mean, they were all covered. They forced him to make a throw on the run, which is very difficult to do, and it ends up on the turf, incomplete.
Nick Hanlon, the Oriole, in coverage. 3rd and 6. Big play here for the Oriole defense. Haas will roll out to the near side. Looks downfield, fires, has a man open, and it's complete. Davion Bell jukes Hanlon, and Nick is going to catch up and finally ring him out of bounds, but not before Bell gets inside Oriole territory down near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, big play. Kept the drive alive. That was a play that they had to make, and they certainly did. And, you know, like I said, they're opening up a little bit here. Avon has been controlling things, and they've gone back to the air and had a little bit of success.
Haas will look over toward the Bears sideline, get the play. 2 wide outs left, 2 wide outs right. Now Dokes will go to the left of Brian Haas. 1st and 10, Lawrence Central at the Avon 40-yard line. 10:34 left to go in the football game. Avon up by 5. And Haas went the wrong way, fires and makes something out of nothing as he was able to swing it out and hit Glenn Calvin on what looked to be a busted play. Calvin, the Bears will at least pick up a couple of yards, make it 2nd and 8.
I think what they were doing, they have an uncovered receiver out here. See, Avon doesn't have anybody on that slot, and I think he was just going to try and catch the ball and throw it to the slot and got himself so excited. Or looking at the open receiver, he didn't catch the football cleanly, but he scrambled out of it and at least came up with a game.
They'll bring a man in motion to the far side where they'll send out 3 wide outs, but here's the handoff. Dokes looks for some run, gets some running room, eludes 1 tackle, still going down inside the 10, down to about the 6-yard line. Finally, Matt Thompson able to wrangle down the 5'10", 185-pound junior Garrett Dokes, but not before a good gain, and it'll give the Bears 1st and goal around the 6.
He's a nice running back, has a style very similar to Derrick Tennant's. He's got a little bit of juice, but runs with a lot of power also.
They'll spot the ball at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for the Bears. Clock continues to move as we approach 10 minutes left to go in the football game. Orioles up by 5. Here's a give to Dokes. He'll go in through the middle, and he will find absolutely nothing as Avon is there to blow that play up quickly as they collapse at the point of attack, and no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5.
Yeah, a lot of bodies in there that time. Avon defensive call was absolutely correct for the play they had called. They had run that play earlier, bounced it outside for the big one that time. Avon defended it extremely well.
Slight delay as I believe Gabe Laxton's with a little bit of an equipment issue. An official gives him a hand, and now we're ready to resume play with 9:42 left to go in this 4th quarter. 28-23 Avon. But the Bears have it 2nd and goal from the Oriole 5-yard line. They'll do that full house, but now they will shift a man to a wing. The pitch is to the far side, getting the football and taking it down to about the 3-yard line. Orioles say they have the football. Let's see. And they do come away with the football, but right now the officials with no signal. I believe they're going to keep the ball in the hands of Lawrence Central. I believe it was Montrell Wilson with the carry, but it down to inside the 4-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and goal. Ball on the far left hash. Again, the full house backfield. Haas takes it, gives the ball, gives it to Dokes, looks for some room, and he will take it into the end zone from 4 yards out. And the Bears are back out in front. They lead 29-28, pending the point after.
Yeah, big time drive by LC. They showed a lot of composure. Came out, made plays, had the big 3rd down play that they converted on a long pass, and good running by the running back, and got down here, ran that little counter play, and it was a good call for Avon's aggressive style. Broke it back and had an easy run into the end zone.
Garrett Dokes with a 4-yard touchdown run, and with a 1-point lead, it'll be interesting. I believe that Bears are going to talk over this one about going for 2 here. Try to make it. They take the timeout. A 2-point conversion would make it a 3-point game. So no sense in not going for it. A field goal is going to beat you either way. Or at least it would give the Orioles the lead. So Coach Jed Richmond elects to burn a timeout. It leaves the Bears with only 1 left. Avon still has a full complement of timeouts. Still a lot of time left in the 4th quarter, 8 minutes and 38 seconds. Coach Richmond's going to talk this one over and try to draw up a 2-point conversion. Avon successful on 1 of 2 in this football game. Peters managed to slip around the end and score Avon's 2-point conversion. Their second 2-point conversion, Peters was looking for Derrick Tennant but overthrew him, and now Lawrence Central is going to come out and they're going to go for 2 themselves. 29-28 is the score. 8:38 left to go in the football game. Haas takes the snap, looks, fires, throwing into the corner. It's going to be caught.
Wow.
Coming down with the football was Glenn Calvin. It looked to be well defended, but he just went up, fought for it, and brought it down. And he brought it down, took a hard hit, fell right on his back, managed to hold on to the football, and that 2-point conversion looms large as it is now a 3-point game.
Not a beautiful play, but the result was good. He just happened to be just enough in front of the Avon defender to be able to make the catch, and really almost a push pass, but very accurate, and he made a great catch.
So this game has been what we thought after the first half when Avon trailed 23-7. You could not have asked for a more exciting second half, and now the Orioles find themselves trailing by 3, but with plenty of time left on the clock, 8 minutes and 38 seconds. They also have all 3 of their timeouts.
LC came back and showed some life. It was the first time in the entire second half that they played anything like they did the first half, and that was a rather impressive drive.
This kick's taken at the 5 up to the 20, spin at the 25, still spinning, and finally brought down at about the 28-yard line as I believe it was Bryant Fitzgerald. It is Bryant Fitzgerald that returned that kickoff to the 28-yard line of Avon, and that is where Brandon Peters brings out the offense with 8:31 left to go in this fourth quarter, trailing now Lawrence Central 31-28. The give is to Tennant, finds some room up the middle to the 35 and up to the 36-yard line.
He reads that play extremely well. That's just a little zone play. You sort of attack a spot in the line of scrimmage, but it's one of those he's got to have a feel and read where the linebackers are going and make the cut appropriately, and he certainly did.
And Tennant leaves with what looks like a cramp. Peters dropped the ball, picked it up, and through all of that still managed to get the pass off and complete it to Andrew Griffin for the first down. Tennant, after that run, quickly ran off the side of the field, and he looks like he's being tended for a cramp right now. Peters didn't panic, dropped the ball, managed to get it off. Here's a fire down the middle. And Moore, I believe, Matt Moore with a nice catch and an even better run after the catch into Bear territory inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
That's a good area to attack. They're doing their best to take away the outside receivers, and they're allowing Matt Moore some openings in the middle of the field.
1st and 10. The ball is handed off as this is
probably Darian Love.
Darian Love with the carry. He's going to find himself with a gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards. Call it 4 to the 40-yard line as Derrick Tennant still trying to get that calf muscle stretched out. Here's Peters, eludes one man, tries to take it up to the middle and didn't gain a lot, but he didn't lose anything either. He'll get back to about the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 6.
Well, I don't even know how he saw that guy coming because he came from the backside, but he ducked, didn't turn the ball over, and took it back up and, made something out of nothing because I thought he was going to get blindsided. I was afraid they might turn the ball over.
So the ball rests just inside the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and a long 5. 3 wideouts to the top of the formation. Love remains in the game as the running back. Peters out of the gun. Takes a snap, low snap, gives it to Love to the 35, and spins and takes it up to down to the 31, and it'll be a 1st down for Avon. Big 1st down conversion for the Oriole offense.
Well, Avon's offensive line is doing a terrific job second half. Nick Shoemaker, Zach Ryan, Brady Nyland, Ross Carter, and Ryan Dickinson have just done a nice job controlling the line of scrimmage this second half.
Clock under 6:30 left to go in the 4th quarter. The Bears with a 31-28 lead, but the Orioles are on the move. Peters out of the gun. Drops back, looks, has some pressure, eludes one tackle, fires it out. Pass is complete at the 28 to the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. As I believe that is not Andrew Griffin. That is Braden Luce.
Yeah, Braden Luce is a good ball player. Brandon did a lot of things on that play that nobody will notice except the college recruiters that are looking at the film. He eluded a couple of guys, kept his composure, stayed behind the line of scrimmage, knew where the receiver was, and made the completion. Big-time play.
9-yard completion to Luce. It'll bring up 2nd and 1. Here's Love, looks for some room, and he's going to be tackled from behind on a very, very nice play by Darren Kirkland once again, as he's going to drop Love for a loss of about 4, maybe 5 on the play. Let's say 4 back outside to the Oriole 26-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, blitzed off the backside, got inside the blocker, and chased it down. Anytime a linebacker can chase down a running back that quick, you know he's got some wheels.
Braden Luce will go to the far side. That's Andrew Griffin to the near side. Backs flank Brandon Peters. Play action pass. Peters rolls to his right, looking, fires downfield, and Matt Moore is tackled and no flag. And all Coach Mark Bless can do is just stand out at about the 25-yard line with his hands outstretched. As we take a look at the replay on the big Jumbotron, as pass is in the air and Matt Moore is tackled from behind and no flag. And it's 4th down.
Coach Bless is just trying to assist those officials.
So it will be a 43-yard field goal attempt. I believe Sam Perino. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. The kick is good. That is Alex Steffen with a 43-yard field goal, and we are tied at 31. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2000. 2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
Alex Steffen nails a 43-yard field goal with 5:22 left to go in this fourth quarter. And we are right back where we started this football game, all evened up. The score is 31-31. Sam Perino will kick off. Steffen has had a couple of good punts, and now he nails a 43-yard field goal to tie this game up at 31. Back deep is Jarrett Montgomery for the Bears. Perino puts a foot into it, and it will be taken by Montgomery at the 7. He goes up to the 15, to the 20, looks for some room, tries to sneak forward, still keeps on his feet, and he will get a nice return to about the 32-yard line. And the Lawrence Central Bears, with one timeout remaining and 5 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock, have the football at their own 32-yard line. A long, long night of football as we've hit the 11:30 hour here in Indianapolis. But it has been an exciting second half. Could not have asked for a better start to the 2014 campaign if you are a high school football fan. Right now the Orioles would like to go home, get on that bus on a winning note, but the defense will have to step up again. Garrett Dokes with the ball. He will plow ahead for about 3 yards up to the 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7. Bears have been in the no huddle all game long. 4 wideouts, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, as Haas looks over to the Bears sideline to get the play as we approach 4:45 left to go in the fourth quarter. 31-all is our score. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Haas waits. Long count, takes a snap, looks, fires to the right side, in and out of the hands of Jalen Williams. That ball had a little bit of mustard on it, and Williams was trying to turn upfield, just couldn't bring it in. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, nice advantage here with that incompletion. Now that they're forced in a 3rd and 7 situation. More than likely have to throw the football. I'm sure Avon's going to pin their ears back and come and put a little pressure on, and we'll see what happens.
3rd down and 7. Ball at the Bear 35-yard line. Again, a 4 wide out look, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Garrett Dokes is the back to the left. Now they will bring Davion Bell in motion. Haas back to pass, fires downfield, and he is nowhere on the same page with his receiver at all. Haas was expecting, I believe, Glenn Calvin to keep going down the seam. Calvin stopped the route, and the ball is overthrown. It brings up 4th down. So just what the Orioles asked for, a 3 and out. And they still have 4:25 on the clock in all 3 of their timeouts in their pocket. Nash Griffin set to punt. Orioles will stand back at their own 29-yard line. Griffin gets this one away. Nice kick, fair catch called for, and made at the 30-yard line. So with 4:19 remaining in this fourth quarter, Avon has the football. They have it at their own 30-yard line. They've already seen Alex Steffen boot a 43-yard field goal to tie the game. And now they look to see if they can put some points on the board and maybe head back to Avon with a well-deserved W on the ledger, but a lot of football still to be played. Ball at the 30-yard line, 4:19 left to go as Peters works out of the gun, flank left and right. Drops back to pass, fires out. Derrick Tennant at the 30, to the 35, to the 40, and he will step out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And so Tennant, who had a cramp on that last series, comes out first play of this series, takes a little dump pass and turns it upfield for 15 yards and an Oriole first down.
Yeah, good play call and good decision there by Brandon Peters. They left the backside flat wide open. Nice little simple route, just a little slip out of the backfield. Nice simple throw. You got Derrick out in the open field where you can let him run, and that's what he did.
Braden Lucy to the far side. It is Cole Rightley and Andrew Griffin with Griffin in the slot near side. Another low snap, but Peters gives it to Tennant. Tennant finds some room into Bears territory near the 47-yard line. That'll bring up second down and about 3. We've seen some low snaps that Brandon Peters has had to pick up off the carpet, but he has not panicked, and he's still able to get the ball to Tennant for a pickup of 7. Lucy will come out as a wide out to the far side of the field with once again Rightley and Griffin to the near side, Griffin in the slot. Peters works out of the gun on this 2nd and 3. The give is to Derrick Tennant, but he's not going to find any room. Oh, he slipped out of a tackle, and he's finally going to be brought down, but Derrick Tennant, who we thought was going to be dropped for a loss of about 6, he's still going to be dropped for a loss of about 4, but
I'll tell you what, they run that play again. That's a zone read play. If Brandon keeps the ball, they didn't have anybody out here to defend him. So I don't know when it will happen. And, we're running out of time here a little bit, but that play's there if they need it.
Lawrence Central rushing to get players off of the field. As the Orioles with a 3-wide look. Brandon Peters drops back to pass, fires downfield. Caught by Andrew Griffin. Went back, reached behind, and brought that ball in. It's a pickup enough for a first down to the Bear 38-yard line. This ball was behind Griffin. He reaches back with some beautifully soft hands and brings that ball in, and the Orioles will have a first down at the Bear 38. Clock moves, 2:38 left to go in this game. Bears still shuttling defensive players on and off the field. 3 wideouts. Here's the give. Tennant with some room. Looks to bounce it to the outside. To the 30. Inside the 25. Down to the 23-yard line. Right now, I believe the Orioles just have the Bears gassed. They've been trying to get some fresher players out on the field, and that run by Tennant takes it down to the Bear 22-yard line.
They're in a rhythm now. I talked about that the first half, and they can hardly wait to get up to the line of scrimmage. They're making it happen. The game's on the line, and they're playing with a lot of confidence.
1st and 10, Avon at the Bear 22-yard line. We approach 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter in a 31-31 tie. Peters, here comes the blitz, and might have been offsides, is trying to get a head start. I believe was the defensive end on that side, and I believe that would have been Carlton Stovall trying to get a little bit of a rush to blitz from the backside. The play was going away from him, and he gets caught for the offsides. It'll bring up 1st and 5 for the Orioles now at the Bear 17.
Yeah, Avon offensive line right now is dominating things up front. You don't want to get too conservative down here, but at the same time, they're easily in field goal range.
It was actually Kevin McDuffie that's called for the offsides. 1st and 5. I backfield now for Avon. They give us to Tennant. He will go up the middle. He won't get a whole lot of yards, but he will pick up about a yard on the play as the Orioles now well within field goal territory. He'll take it to the Bears 16-yard line, 1:22. Lawrence Central with 1 timeout remaining. Avon still with a full complement. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4 from the Lawrence Central 16-yard line. Lucy to the far side, 3 wideouts to the near side. And Tennant to the right of Peters, who will work out of the gun. Brandon takes the snap. Play action pass, keeps it. To the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and down to the 2-yard, to the 1. As Coach just mentioned, just not a minute or two ago, that if they left that open, Brandon was going to keep it, run it to the right side, and there'd be nobody to stop him. They will stop Peters at the 1. 45 seconds remaining in this football game. Orioles will line up in an I backfield. Peters with the football. He'll keep it himself. He will plunge through, and he's in for the touchdown. Brandon Peters runs it in from 1 yard out with 30 seconds showing on the game clock, and the Orioles take the lead 37-31.
Well, it's not over yet, but what a great comeback. What an outstanding job that Coach Bless and his coaches did with their kids at halftime. You know, they were beaten up. You could tell they were down in the dumps, not playing the way they're capable of playing, and whatever they did, whatever adjustments they made, whatever they said to them at halftime, it certainly worked, because this is a whole different football team out here playing for Avon in the second half, playing the way they're supposed to play, playing with a lot of confidence, playing as a team. Defense has stepped up when they were supposed to, kicked a 43-yard field goal, so the special teams recovered the fumble on the kickoff, and you know everybody's gotten involved here and done a great job the second half.
It bears reminding fans that Lawrence Central led at the half 23-7, and it was about a 5-minute stretch on the game clock toward the end of the third quarter into the fourth, where Avon just all of a sudden exploded. They got the fumble recovery on the kickoff after putting it in the end zone. And this turned into one whale of a football game in the second half. And there is still 30 seconds on the clock.
I think I mentioned shootout somewhere in the first quarter.
Somewhere I remember somebody early in the first quarter saying that if Avon got that offense rolling, this could end up in a shootout. And more prophetic words could not have been spoken, as it is a 38-31 Avon lead. Now they have to guard against a good kickoff return.
Or some kind of trick play, throwback, reverse. You know, just stay in your lanes, do your job, play good fundamental football right here. And if you get an opportunity, be sure with the tackle.
Sam Perino will kick this one away. It'll be taken at the 5, to the 10, 15, to the 20, 25, and finally it'll be dragged down at about the 30-yard line. A nice return. But now the Bears have it 1st and 10. The ball will be spotted at their own 31-yard line. 22 seconds remain. The Bears have one timeout remaining, but they must get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just get back, keep in front of you. A field goal doesn't even hurt you. The only thing that's going to hurt you here is if they take it all the way. You know, just be smart, back up, let them catch it. First down doesn't kill you. The only thing that kills you is a long touchdown.
Haas fires downfield, pass is complete at the 39. Spinning, though, and making a move and cutting it up to about the 45-yard line.
Should have got out of bounds.
Was Gennario Penn, and instead it cut some time off the clock, 12 seconds, and that's going to force Jed Richmond to call his final timeout. The yardage there wasn't nearly as much as important as the clock was. And while Penn was able to get maybe another 7 or 8 yards, it also cost him another 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah, whatever trick plays you practice on Thursdays, that's usually the day you pull out your garbage plays and hope you never have to use them. But if they've got one of those plays in their trick bag, now's the time they better use it, because Avon, there's one, maybe 2 plays left here again. You can let them complete anything you want. They can run any kind of reverse they want. Just stay at home, do your job, keep it in front of you. Don't do anything stupid. And, this would be a fabulous comeback for Avon, and, great game to win at Lucas Oil.
Brian Haas will send 3 wideouts to the far side. 12 seconds remain on the clock. Haas rolls out, looks. Penalty flag on the play.
They got a hold and a ground, if they want to call it.
Haas just got rid of the ball, but it is going to be a hold. 5 seconds remain on the clock.
Plus, they should have had a grounding. I mean, he threw that ball 30 yards over nobody's head.
They will call the holding penalty, but where that hold took place is going to be a killer because it's going to push Lawrence Central all the way back to the 26-yard line. Due to the late ending of this game, we're going to skip the usual post game and look forward to hopefully seeing everybody next week at Avon, which for what should be a big game against Ben Davis. 5 seconds left. Haas steps back, fires down the field, sends it long, out of the reach, and that's the ball game. Avon comes back from a 23-7 halftime deficit, and they knock off the number 10 team in Class 6A, the Lawrence Central Bears, by the score of 38-31. Coach, you said it in the first quarter that if Avon got that offense going, this could turn into one wild shootout. The offense did their part. The defense did their part for most of the game, and the special teams came up with a big play.
Well, Avon's got too many skills. They're too well coached, to play like they did the first half. I don't know if it was first game jitters, LC doing some things that they didn't expect, but Avon was way out of sync the first half. They relaxed, made some adjustments the second half, and came out the second half. I mean, they were pretty close to flawless. I mean, offensively, Derrick ran awfully well behind an offensive line that blocked. They found Matt Moore over the middle a couple of times. Andrew Griffin made a couple of nice catches. Brandon Peters played the way we know Brandon Peters is capable of playing, and the defense, other than one drive, just basically shut them down. I mean, they pressured them, they got after them, they didn't give up the big plays like they did in the first half, and they had a couple of big special teams plays. The fumble recovery that set up the one touchdown and the 43-yard field goals were just huge plays, and Avon came back and played the kind of football they're capable of playing, what they have to do. And this is the kind of game as a coach you just love, because you didn't play your best and you still beat an awfully good football team. So they'll kind of pat themselves on the back a little bit, but they've got some things to correct, and I know this will be a good week for the coaches to get after it and prepare them to play Ben Davis.
It's a very, very excited Avon football team that meets here on the near side in front of their fans. They come out with a well-deserved victory against Lawrence Central, 38-31. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. It's Avon's home opener against the number 3 team in the state. We'll see how the rankings shake out after tonight's action. But the Ben Davis Giants, who pretty much whooped up on Avon in the sectionals last year, Avon's looking for some redemption, and they have them at home next week. If you can't make it out to Avon High School, we ask you to join us here on Audio Sports Online. Pre-game show will be at 6:45, and the kickoff between the Avon Orioles and the Ben Davis Giants set for 7 o'clock. Once again, your final score, the Avon Orioles come back from behind and defeat the Lawrence Central Bears by the score of 38-31. For the coach, Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Until next week, so long, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Avon Varsity Football on Audio Sports Online. Tonight's game has been brought to you by McDonald's, Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, and Red Cobra Wrestling. Get a free on-demand replay of tonight's game by visiting audiosportsonline.com. Oriole Football is an audiosportsonline.com production.